freaking mean to me. I was in shock.
Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%?
100%. I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me.
Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry, has been admired by millions for her contributions to television, philanthropy, and culture. However, behind her public persona, a growing number of celebrities have raised concerns about her influence, power, and the impact she's had on those around her. Among the voices that have come forward are Shannon Sharpe, Joe Rogan, Taraji P. Henson, and others. They all issued warnings about the media mogul, shedding light on a side of Oprah that many might not have seen.
I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused this.
She says to me, I hear you have Gucci flatware. I'm Oprah Winfrey and I don't have Gucci flatware.
First of all, I didn't know Gucci made silverware.
You ain't got Gucci flatware because you didn't want to buy it. It's not because you couldn't afford it. What do you mean? And immediately, she made me feel this big. This big.
A 1998 interview with Toni Braxton stirred controversy when the singer described Oprah as unusually stern and criticized her for scolding during their conversation. This resurfaced clip led to renewed scrutiny of Oprah's ties with convicted offender Harvey Weinstein and Def Jam Recordings founder Russell Simmons, who has been accused of misconduct. The debate gained momentum when Rose McGowan tweeted about Simmons, who faced allegations of mistreatment from at least 15 women between 2017 and 2019, though he consistently denied the accusations.
So Rose McGowan has put Oprah on blast. Rose recently called out Oprah on Twitter over her past associations with some controversial men. Rose wrote, quote, "From being pals with Harvey Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons' victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come." And just to refresh your memory, music producer Russell Simmons has been accused of rape by at least 15 women. Last year, Oprah pulled out of a documentary that's highlighting their stories because she and the filmmakers apparently did not see eye to eye on that project. And as for her former friendship with Harvey Weinstein, Oprah had said that she did not know about the sexual assault accusations from women, including Rose, only that she had heard he was a bully.
In 2020, Oprah decided to step down from her role as executive producer of the documentary On the Record, which explored the experiences of women who had accused Simmons of misconduct. Rose, one of the alleged victims, criticized Oprah for seemingly abandoning those who had come forward. Oprah's unexpected departure from the project was due to her concerns over inconsistencies in one accuser's story, which she believed needed to be resolved before the film's release.
Do you believe that she has a point here, or does Rose have a point? Where do you fall?
I want to tread very lightly on this because I do have a lot of empathy for Rose McGowan. She is a survivor who has been very vocal, did not hold punches to speak her truth, and she was silenced and bullied and threatened. She is like a lot of survivors, especially in light of Me Too, who have very post-dated trauma that they have not been able to walk through and actually heal from. So I want to be sensitive to that.
Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle has never shied away from speaking his mind, and his comments about Oprah Winfrey have stirred significant controversy. Known for his fearless approach to comedy and social commentary, Chappelle has used his platform to expose what he sees as the darker side of the entertainment industry, including the influence and actions of powerful figures like Oprah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy.
In his stand-up routines and interviews, Chappelle has hinted at the complex dynamics within Hollywood and how figures like Oprah wield immense influence, often shaping public narratives to their advantage. He has alluded to the idea that Oprah, despite her public image as a benevolent and inspirational figure, may be involved in behind-the-scenes dealings that aren't as wholesome as they appear.
Or Martin Lawrence punches through and He's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Now, let's talk about Oprah's 2003 interview with Dolly Parton. The discussion covered various topics, including plastic surgery and Parton's upcoming album. When this interview resurfaced in 2021, it sparked a debate among fans. Some criticized Oprah, accusing her of trying to embarrass Dolly, while others defended her, suggesting that sensitivities have shifted since 2003.
What happened? I was on Oprah's show, on the Oprah Winfrey show, doing Change Your Life TV, and then people saw me, and other networks came after me, to go. And I didn't want to leave the Oprah Winfrey show. But when other people came after me, I said, okay, well, maybe I need to do my own show. But I want to do it with the Oprah Winfrey show, Oprah Winfrey at that time. Mm-hmm. So when I went to her and said, this is what I'd like to do, I said, because other people were coming to me and asking me this, I hadn't even thought about it. And but the way they heard that was in the industry, when you go to somebody and say, this network is offering me this, what are you going to offer me? But that's not what I was doing. Mm-hmm. I was just being naive and stupid and asking, but it wasn't received well. Right. And that created a breakdown in communication. But we were able to repair that. It took 11 years.
In the interview, Oprah inquired about Parton's secret to maintaining her youthful appearance. Unfazed, Oprah continued, noting that Parton had openly discussed undergoing plastic surgery. With a laugh, Parton acknowledged the procedures she had undergone and joked about being willing to get more if needed. Many viewers felt Oprah was being overly persistent, seeming to push for a reaction that Parton wasn't providing.
The makeup, I'll look as young as my plastic surgeons will allow me, and it's like all in makeup and lighting and all that. But I think more than anything, it's about what comes from inside you. It's an attitude, and you got to shine from within, and sometimes that can make you feel young and make you seem young to other people.
If I just do athletes, what's going to set me apart? It's just going to be an athlete interviewing athletes. So I pivoted. I said, what if I do celebs? What if I do entertainers? What if I do rappers? What if I do influencers? And I started thinking, McDonald's didn't become McDonald's by just selling hamburgers. They sell chicken nuggets, they sell fish sandwiches, they used to sell milkshakes, but that machine is broken all the time.
Oprah Winfrey, renowned as the host of The Oprah Winfrey Show, has been the subject of various controversial theories. Some allege that she wields significant influence in Hollywood, acting as a Hollywood handler who can cancel individuals using her extensive network of connections. These accusations include claims that she has orchestrated the downfall of certain public figures. One notable instance is Shannon Sharpe, who asserts that Oprah has cancelled him and is behind the efforts to undermine his career.
Complaining about being underpaid, especially she was working with Oprah on The Color Purple, that movie, right? Mm-hmm. So for her to come on, there's so much instances of Oprah's disingenuousness or just her personality showing that she's really not who she seems, or she makes it seem she is. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that should be more studied in public. People should be more aware of how nasty and evil these people are.
People are becoming more and more aware of it, slowly as time goes by, because more and more information, more and more people are coming out and feeling more comfortable, especially thanks to what's his name, Shannon Sharpe. Mm-hmm. Now Monique actually has a platform to actually voice her truth.
Cat Williams, known for his candid and outspoken nature, also claims that Oprah Winfrey acts as a Hollywood handler. He alleges that she uses her substantial influence to cancel any celebrity who disrespects or speaks ill of her. Williams' assertions add to the controversial narrative surrounding Oprah's perceived power in the entertainment industry.
Oprah threatens Cat Williams for exposing her for being a Hollywood handler. Look, man, for all the people who are on the same level as far as thinking like this and knowing what goes on in this Hollywood. I appreciate y'all. For those of you who don't understand, pay close attention. This man, Cat Williams, came out and it just, took over the internet, and everybody's mad. Everybody's mad because when the truth comes out,
Shannon Sharpe experienced significant fallout, with guests refusing to appear on his show despite prior commitments, particularly following his association with Cat Williams. This occurred amid numerous controversies surrounding Shannon after his show with Williams, adding to the speculation and claims that influential figures like Oprah Winfrey were behind these cancellations.
He said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything.
Right.
He said, they're gonna come. And they're gonna say a lot of different things. And they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get that they're not gonna come now.
Right.
And that's absolutely has happened. That's absolutely has happened. They were so excited. Thanks for reaching out. We can't wait to sit down. And a day later, they can't do it. And then no call, they won't follow, so forth and so on. So I understand what comes along with an interview like that. Did I expect it? No, because that wouldn't, I've got to try to do something to try to quell this momentum that this wave that Shannon is riding. So any way I can try to undercut him or to make him look like I'm not a journalist. I never told anybody I was a journalist. I said I'm a conversationalist. But what people are upset about is that for some reason people come to me and I don't look at them with judgy eyes. I have no predetermined notion or preconceived notions, and they open up to me.
Right.
That's what they're upset about. Because if you look at a lot of these people that's been on other podcasts, they don't do the views that they do when they come on Club Shay Shay.
Correct.
On the other hand, Cat Williams faced criticism for his statements on Shannon Sharpe's show, where he fearlessly exposed various individuals, leading to their interview going viral.
You know, I'm proud of some brothers that he might disagree with, you know. Now, some of the stuff he said was true. I just wouldn't be airing it on think.
Is the truth disrespect, though?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why I drew the line. I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that were debatable. But I'll tell you a couple of things I had a problem with. Unless a brother's wife is in the game, that's kind of off limits. Those are old gangster rules, man. You don't mess with the family. Now, in the case of Kevin Hart, his ex-wife is in the game, so I don't know. Maybe that's fair. Fine, but you know, he said something about some of the other guys' wives. I got a little problem with that. Then when he referred to Quake's illiteracy, or accused him of being illiterate, I got a little problem.
People expressed jealousy over Shannon Sharpe and Cat Williams achieving over 50 million views, questioning what was so special about their show. The remarkable viewership prompted curiosity and skepticism, with many wondering what exactly drew such a massive audience to their candid and controversial discussion.
That nigga interview was so interesting that people will watch. You see the views on it? Like, bro, and I know me, like, I watch interviews, like I could get on YouTube and watch interviews.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I do that. Like if it's stuff like that. But that interview, bro, I don't went back 2 or 3 times because there are parts where he got some funny shit in there, like you watching a special.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, 50 million views. 50 million views. Now, the interesting part in that is that Cat Williams don't get a back end on that. If any money.
He ain't do it.
But I would have sent him a check though.
Yeah. But you notice he said that during the interview what it was gonna do.
But I think it's the year that. I think it's the year, yo, man. He could have gave me an opportunity, but he didn't. I ain't mad at him, but he know that. And y'all need to know that behind the scenes, this is what's going on.
But see, you know how sometimes people ask, well, why such and such don't fuck with? And so they're like, nah, ain't no problem. People used to just keep it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now niggas like, nah, he do fuck shit.
Yeah, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because
I ain't got no problem with. I don't rock like how he rock.
Guess what?
Joe Budden, the podcast host, expressed his frustration by saying, "I'm tired of talking about Shannon's show with Cat Williams." He criticized Shannon for bragging about showcasing unfiltered and uncut interviews, calling it lame. He mentioned that he also interviewed the same guests who appeared on Shannon's show and accused Shannon of exaggerating the uniqueness and impact of his program.
It's the media chat room and we're here for a quick chat. It's officially 2024, y'all, and Cat Williams started out the year with a bang. Although he said he don't do many interviews, he stopped at Club Shay Shay to set the record straight, calling out a lot of the black mainstream comedians. And he started with Ricky Smiley.
I've watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies that Ricky Smiley was gonna play Money Mike. Everything that Money Mike said, Cat Williams wrote. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Cat?
That's where he's a believable actor. Play good women. And I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
On the Shay Shay Club, Monique discussed how Oprah treated her poorly, leading to her being cancelled and her career suffering as a result. Monique shared her story on Shannon Sharpe's show because she felt safe and comfortable in the environment he provides. Shannon's ability to create a supportive atmosphere allows his guests to open up and freely express themselves.
So I started to see, I said, okay, if he has a following or she has a following, they come on my podcast, now that's a different set of eyes. Yeah. And I was like, that's it. So reach out and I get a Steve Harvey. I reach out and I get some of these big name, a Magic Johnson, some of these other guys.
People are talking extensively about Shannon Sharpe's show going viral. They say that making the right choice at the right time can change your life. And Shannon did just that by interviewing Cat Williams. This pivotal decision has ensured that Shannon will continue to benefit financially, as he will earn revenue every time the interview is viewed.
So shout out to Shannon Sharpe for being an entrepreneur who decided to pivot from one place to another, even though it was very scary, believing in himself, and then being able to see his fruits grow. And all it took was what? I just said it in the early part of the podcast. It only takes one time to be right. That one time. And guess what's going to happen? That clip's going to continue to keep getting played, and he's going to keep getting checks. From that one interview, that one decision, that one play, that one investment, that one person, that one thing is all you.
Shannon Sharpe addressed the jealousy surrounding his show, stating that people are envious because Cat Williams chose to speak freely on his show, not theirs. He pointed out that the reason his podcast received such a boost is because he creates a safe space for his guests to talk openly and candidly about their experiences. This environment of trust and comfort is what sets his show apart and attracts a large 3-hour conversation. Williams didn't shy away from controversy, calling out fellow comedians like Kevin Hart, Cedric the Entertainer, and Steve Harvey. He accused them of various misdemeanors, ranging from joke theft to more severe allegations.
Do you see that because as a comedian more as like, oh, this is all fun? Or did you see that more as like, well, you know, hey, he going hard on Steve, he going hard on Cedric and all of them, you know what I'm saying? What did you take that as?
Oh, well, he went hard on him. He went hard. It's the same thing, just different. You know, comedians are supposed to laugh it off, but, you know, as a comedian, it wasn't nothing funny. Like, Cat been running around, like you said, been popping trunks with guns and shit. These motherfuckers are angry. It take a lot to become a comedian, what?
Williams' appearance on the podcast also provided insights into his views on Hollywood, revealing his perspective on the industry's darker sides. He discussed the exploitation and manipulation prevalent in the entertainment world, further fueling the debate about transparency and ethics in showbiz.
To see this interview to realize how intelligent this nigga is. But listen to what he said. He say, everybody gonna get exposed in 2024. Everybody. Remind y'all, nobody responded. Nobody has yet to show no receipts of nothing that Cat Williams said. They'll just say something out the way and try to act like they don't know what's going on. Ludacris made a song. That's not responding, Ludacris. I know a lot of stuff I shouldn't know. And he said, they know, I know it. And once again, nobody really responded to this nigga. Nobody. Bro, I'ma just say this, bro. When you a real nigga and you genuine 24/7, other genuine and real people go understand. You really ain't even gotta show no proof. You could just tell when somebody's telling the truth.
Despite Cat Williams' candidness on Club Shay Shay, some critics remain skeptical about the veracity of his claims. They question the reliability of his statements, arguing that without concrete evidence, it's difficult to discern the truth in his revelations.
It's the media chat room, and we're here for a quick chat. It's officially 2024, y'all, and Cat Williams started out the year with a bang. Although he said he don't do many interviews, he stopped at Club Shay Shay to set the record straight, calling out a lot of the black mainstream comedians. And he started with Ricky Smiley.
I've watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies that Ricky Smiley was gonna play Money Mike. Everything that Money Mike said, Cat Williams wrote. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
How would you put that in your contract, Cat?
That's where he's a believable actor. Play good women. And I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
In an interview, Shannon Sharpe explained his decision to diversify the guest lineup on his show, Club Shay Shay. He stated, "If I had only interviewed athletes, it would have just been one athlete interviewing another. It would have become repetitive and less engaging." On Club Shay Shay, Monique expressed that she felt safe speaking her truth on the show, covering topics ranging from her treatment in Hollywood to the dynamics between female and male comedians.
First and foremost, I just want to say, Shannon Sharpe, this is the year of Club Shay Shay. Congratulations to you. This interview was well conducted, well edited. It was great. Like, I've always loved Monique. I've always been a big fan of her. I've been to see numerous of her comedy shows in the past. But the way that they have blackballed this lady, so she got blackballed out of millions of dollars, millions of awards she could have won again just because of this. Like Tyler Perry, like the Tyler Perry not apologizing to her, and then it went from her apologizing to Tyler Perry to him apologizing to her, but come to find out she has a recording of Tyler Perry just basically talking and basically apologizing to her. She talked about how some people in the industry have heard this video and has not said anything, and even spoke up and said that Tyler Perry was wrong. Even she talked about T.S. Madison saying, yes, it was wrong. Shout out to T.S. Madison, love Maddie. But even like with Kevin Hart, it was even shocking because she talked about how Kevin Hart had gave her a loan.
Guests feel safe on the Shannon Sharpe show, so they open up about themselves. Amanda also addressed long-standing industry rumors, reaffirming her commitment to authenticity and revealing the challenges she has faced due to misconceptions about her personality.
What they think instead of what they know. Maybe Amanda is not the problem. You know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to Amanda Seales. And I'm not saying I dislike Shannon Sharpe. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if he would have interviewed a guy, the responses would have been different. And I believe that in my heart, that the responses would have been different. But anyway, yeah. Amanda Seales, the black sheep. I don't know about all that.
Shannon Sharpe has acknowledged the growing popularity of his shows, Club Shay Shay and Nightcap, attributing their success to the hard work and dedication of his team.
I said, Ocho, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna be so great, they got to come advertise on us. Mm-hmm. They got to sponsor us. We're gonna have too many people talking about Nightcap. Yeah. We're gonna have too many people talking about Club Shay Shay. What everybody else do ain't got nothing to do with us. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what my team do, we go out and we find out who's spending the money in podcasts. Yeah. That's what we do. We don't hate on nobody. My team says, okay, Shannon, this team spends in podcast and digitally. This is what they do. This is where they distribute the money. Let me know where. My part is
is to say, okay, this is what Ocho and I do. Because they're going to want to see the rate card. Okay, how many views? How many impressions? How many times on your auto week? Do you do mid? Do you do pre? Do you do end rolls? They want to know that. This is what we do. Will he read it live or will it need to be recorded? So when I see other guys when I see a Joe Rogan, I'm like, oh, so that means somebody got some money. Oh, somebody got some money. How can we get some of it? I ain't saying we got to get, how can we get some of it?
That's the territory of back in the day when it was prime time interviews and when Oprah had the show where it was the real hot seat where a lot of information would be revealed by celebrities. And it's like that gap has been missing, you know, from interviews as of late. Like, you know, it ain't really like nobody that go on.
Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay, has recently become a platform for celebrities to air their grievances, and Oprah Winfrey has been a frequent target. Both Cat Williams and Monique have appeared on the show, where they made significant allegations against the media mogul. Cat Williams, in his episode, criticized various industry figures, though his comments about Oprah were more indirect. He suggested that powerful people in Hollywood, like Oprah, have contributed to the industry's problematic dynamics.
Like they would with a Montel or Arsenio Hall or Oprah. And I always thought what Shannon Sharpe is doing right now is what I expected from Charlemagne the God.
Monique's,
well, I told the truth. And what happens is we're now in a society that the truth is offensive. See, I too have been the help. And the very man Whoopi Goldberg told me to get rid of, which is my husband and my manager. He said, Mama, you've got to stop being the help. Because 100 years from now, when your image is on that screen, somebody else's family benefits from that, not mine. So I wasn't saying it to do a dig. I wasn't saying it to spill no tea. I'm 51 years old. I'm too damn old to be digging and shading. And I'm just saying the truth. When I have a woman that says to me on national TV, I could have schooled you. Well, you wanted to school me on how I was supposed to work for free. I simply don't want that type of education. That's the education you're fine with. That's not the education I want, and that's not the education I want to pass down to my little sisters saying, you just gotta do it. Let me school you. If they're not paying you, baby, that's called slavery.
Monique also reiterated her long-standing claims that Oprah, along with Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels, blackballed her in Hollywood, spreading rumors that she was difficult to work with.
I want y'all to understand something about me. When I have communicated something wrong, I'm a bitch who's gonna say, I'm sorry. I'm a bitch who's gonna own what the fuck I said. I'm a bitch who's gonna walk in what the fuck I said. And I owe two motherfuckers an apology because I communicated some shit wrong to them some years ago. Tyler Perry said I have to give him and Oprah Winfrey a public apology. And I'm gonna give it right now tonight in front of you niggas in Albany, New York. Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, I wanna apologize for telling y'all to suck my dick.
Oprah Winfrey has faced criticism over the years for her interviewing style, which some have seen as intrusive or insensitive. One notable example is her 1993 interview with Michael Jackson. During this interview, Oprah asked Jackson several personal and probing questions, including if he was a virgin, which left him visibly uncomfortable and embarrassed.
But I'm going to ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you a virgin?
How could you ask me that question?
I just want to know. I want to know.
I'm a gentleman.
You're a gentleman.
I'm a gentleman.
So
I'm a gentleman.
So, okay, I would interpret that to mean that means that you believe that a lady is a lady, and therefore...
That's something that's private. I mean, you know, shouldn't be spoken about openly. You can call me old-fashioned if you want, but, you know, to me that's very personal.
So you're not going to answer it?
I'm embarrassed. so you're not gonna answer it.
This style wasn't limited to Michael Jackson. Oprah has sometimes been known to ask tough and personal questions that can put her guests in awkward positions. Dave Chappelle's appearance on Oprah's show was also so critical. During this interview, Chappelle discussed the intense pressure and stress he experienced, which led him to walk away from a $50 million deal with Comedy Central.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah, yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
For instance, her interviews often delve deeply into her guests' personal lives and struggles, sometimes leading to moments that some viewers and critics have found to be uncomfortable or disrespectful.
Hey y'all, I hope that Tyler and Oprah take it easy on my girl Monique. She just telling her truth. Take it easy on Monique. Y'all reach out to her, apologize.
Oprah Winfrey has faced criticism for asking personal and potentially embarrassing questions during interviews. A notable example is her 2004 interview with Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, where she asked the teenage twins about their clothing sizes amid rumors of Mary-Kate's eating disorder. The question made both sisters visibly uncomfortable and has been widely criticized as inappropriate and insensitive, especially given the context of Mary-Kate's struggles with an eating disorder.
The rumor has recently surfaced has really upset you, right? You know, the one about eating.
Yeah, you know, people are gonna write what they wanna write. We try not to read the good or the bad because it just kind of comes with the territory. You know, either you're too fat, you're too skinny, and people are just gonna write what they
What size
think.
are you, by the way?
Size?
Yeah, I always like to know.
I'm really short.
You're not sure?
Girls, and you know.
That's so interesting. That is so interesting. I'm like obsessed with size, and you're like, I really don't know.
Well, if we were obsessed with our size, you know, it'd be, I don't know, a different.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, legally we get the name.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you going to celebrate your 18th birthday besides becoming presidents of your company?
I think just like a nice dinner with our friends, and it's a hectic time. I mean, it's graduation a week before, so there'll be all the graduation parties, and we just want to be with our friends.
Can you be normal with all of your friends and people at school?
Yeah, of course, and we have really, you know, good people in our lives.
Oprah Winfrey's Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa has been embroiled in controversy over the years and was allegedly involved in child trafficking.
So Oprah flew down on her jet and she built the school. $50 million she spent. Most expensive school in Africa. Most expensive anything, in fact. $50 million. That's what she spent. It's got state-of-the-art computers, state-of-the-art facilities, and cars, and all this equipment. State-of-the-art everything. Well, not everything. Teachers, not so much. Shame. A lot of scandals going down at that school. This wasn't Brad Pitt she was talking to, you know? She came in, she was like, "You're not gonna spank these kids, are you?" And the headmaster was like, "No, never. Never. No, we can never spank a child, never." She was like, "Okay then, bye-bye." She went on her plane, back to America. The principal was there. "Hi, Oprah. Yeah, who right then? Hi. No, never. Us spanking a child, never. We beat them."
The school did face significant issues, particularly a scandal in 2007 involving a dorm matron accused of physically mistreating students.
In 2007, Oprah Winfrey opened up a boarding school in South Africa. The academy had salons and gyms in it. Allegations have surfaced that this school was a front for child trafficking. These girls would be allegedly groomed to be ready for sale. Oprah handpicked the young girls who attended her school based on physical appearance, but it wasn't long until word got out about what really the school was about. Turns out these young girls were being touched or broken in by one of the employees there to allegedly get them ready for clients. Authorities found out about it inappropriate with kids. Turns out at least 6 girls aged 13 to 15 were allegedly systematically and ritualistically targeted. Oprah went on record saying she was going to look at the situation, but after her investigation, the employee was cleared of any wrongdoing, and some allege Oprah had a hand in trying to cover it up. But these incidents continue to rock the school, including a newborn baby being found unalived at the school, which some say was for trafficking.
The matron was later acquitted of these charges in 2010. This incident, among others, has led to criticisms and a tarnishing of the school's reputation.
Maltreatment and abuse happening in Oprah Winfrey's school, and of course her name is connected to it because it's under her leadership. There's been so many suspicious activities happening, but recently there have been reports that girls have been going missing. It's been news on social media, and there hasn't been any concrete evidence, but it has just taken social media by a storm of the missing girls that's been rumored to be coming from Oprah Winfrey's school, and people on social media are demanding that they look for these girls and bring them home. And the major news outlets have not been covering it, so we have not gotten a genuine and honest report on what is going on. However, because of these rumors, there's been other reports bringing up what's been happening in Oprah's school over the years. However, she left the school and the leadership of some administrators who have taken advantage of the girls. So if you don't know, a couple years ago, I think in 2011, there was an administrator who was exposed for essaying, I can't say it on YouTube, but for assaulting young girls. And basically, the report was that these girls were put in vulnerable situations.
In addition to these isolated incidents, various conspiracy theories and allegations have been propagated online, suggesting Oprah's involvement in illicit activities. Allegations have occasionally surfaced accusing Oprah Winfrey of various wrongdoings, including promoting controversial figures and pseudoscientific health advice on her show. Critics argue that her influential platform has sometimes spread misinformation, impacting public perception and health choices.
You're obviously sitting there watching Oprah with her. You know, I have always been super entertained by talk shows. It was like a huge thing in the 90s, and Oprah is a very beloved woman. Everybody knows who she is. But I have seen some things come out about Oprah, and some of them have been extremely disturbing. One of them being that she was friends with Harvey Weinstein and apparently really avoids saying anything against him, which leaves me really suspicious because I feel like even if you were friends with him, when all this stuff came out, you would think that she would like shut it down and share how she feels about him, because there's so many pictures of her with him. And if you guys are unaware, like Oprah went through some really difficult things as a child. She got pregnant at 14 by her uncle.
The school faced another scandal involving inappropriate behavior among students, leading to the suspension of several girls for mistreating their peers.
There was a dead newborn found in a student's bag. And this one was so heartbreaking because there's clearly some things going on at home. There's clearly some things going on at the school where the student did not feel like she could have disclosed this information to anyone. But there was a newborn baby found. And the news report says that on February 11, 2011, so this is a couple years after the first incident of students being sexually assaulted.
Ryan Garcia, the renowned boxer, allegedly exposed Oprah Winfrey for controversial associations and decisions in a recent public statement. He criticized her for endorsing questionable figures and spreading misinformation. This unexpected critique from Garcia has sparked discussions about the responsibility and influence of celebrities in shaping public opinion.
According to Ryan Garcia, he is in possession of the Epstein client list. And guess who's on it? That's right, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah has been allegedly trafficking children out of her school in South Africa, and more recently been snatching children up left and right while she's in Maui. There was allegedly over 1,000 missing kids during the Maui fires in 2023, and Hawaii is a known hotbed for trafficking. Oprah has associated herself with known traffickers in the past like Harvey Weinstein, and some say even helped introduce people to him. Oprah was also linked to a predator who would chain women up and farm babies in an underground bunker to be sold. And some say this is the reason she's out in Maui buying property to harvest babies underground.
Furthermore, during Aishwarya Rai's appearances on The Oprah Winfrey Show, there were moments that some perceived as culturally insensitive. Oprah also touched on topics such as arranged marriages and living with parents as adults. Aishwarya clarified that arranged marriages in modern urban India are akin to a dating service facilitated by families, and living with parents is a cultural norm that emphasizes family connections.
But you are a representative of the culture. What in general do they think of American women? Do they say we're rude?
No.
No?
Indian people are very hospitable.
Do they say we talk too much?
Opinionated, maybe.
They say we're opinionated. Do they say we get a lot of divorces?
That could be a discussion.
People spend $100 million a year, I read this, on skin lightening products. Is that true?
When you see the matrimonials and you see requests for a fair, when fair comes in, I guess, that is kind of ingrained that people are happy to have fair daughters. It comes up in the matrimonial and in the marriageable phase, these things do get discussed, which I think is absolutely uncalled for and totally unwarranted. Because I mean, in India, we have all skin colors, we have all physical features. We really have the world within India. If you go from the north to the south, the east to the west, we just have them all. We got the small eyes, we got the fair skin, the darker skin, the straight hair, everything. We just have it all in India. So.
Really?
Oprah Winfrey has faced scrutiny and criticism over her associations with controversial figures like Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. Reports suggest Oprah's involvement in Epstein's illegal activities and visits to his properties.
Let's talk about what's happening with Harvey Weinstein. I know you posted on Facebook already, but you haven't kind of spoken yet publicly about what's going on.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger. And we were filming some things and they hadn't slept over a period of 2 or 3 days. And I was like, what is that? I said, oh, you guys are suffering from PTSD.
And when you start talking about it out loud too,
everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And so I think this is a watershed moment. And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in.
Moreover, The Oprah Winfrey Show has faced criticism for promoting misleading information, particularly related to health and science. One of the most notable controversies involves the promotion of Dr. Mehmet Oz, whose show, The Dr. Oz Show, was co-produced by Oprah's Harpo Productions. Dr. Oz has been widely criticized for endorsing questionable health products and making unverified medical claims.
So The Oprah Winfrey Show was in general highly criticized for the constant medical and scientific misinformation that was platformed and constantly spewed on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Oprah regularly platformed guests who would be promoting products that were not backed by science and guests who had theories that were also not corroborated with scientific information. In 2007, Oprah Winfrey invited Jenny McCarthy onto the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she would actually partner up with Jenny McCarthy, and Jenny McCarthy was on the Oprah Winfrey Show I think like 12 or 13 times total. He began to be viewed less as a snake oil salesman and some kind of a supernatural healer. Bill Clinton and Naomi Campbell have both been known to be associates of John of God. John of God believed that he could heal people from anything from chronic pain to mental illness. Horrifically, a few years after this interview, it was discovered that John of God was not the man of God who he claimed to be. In fact, John of God had R-worded and S-a'd hundreds of young girls.
Notably, in a 1986 interview, Oprah asked the young model to stand up so the audience could look at her body. This moment was later criticized by Crawford herself, who felt objectified and noted that it would not be considered appropriate today.
1986, newly discovered model, now household name, Cindy Crawford, made an appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show alongside the founder of Elite Model Management, John Casablancas, the man who discovered Cindy Crawford. In an uncomfortable moment in this interview, Oprah asked 19-year-old Cindy Crawford to stand up to show off her body to the audience. Cindy agreed reluctantly, but was very obviously extremely uncomfortable.
So did you have to groom her? Did she always have this body? This is unbelievable. Stand up just a moment, because no one saw you come in standing up. Now, this is what I call a bod.
During a memorable episode of her show, Oprah Winfrey unintentionally embarrassed NFL quarterback Drew Brees. As they chatted, Oprah noticed what she thought was a smudge on Brees' face. However, Brees explained that it was actually a birthmark.
This moment felt very exploitative and misogynistic to many viewers. In another odd moment on the Oprah Winfrey Show, NFL quarterback Drew Brees went on to the Oprah Winfrey Show, and while they were live on air, Oprah reached over and tried to wipe something off of his face. What Oprah thought was lipstick on Drew Brees' face, it was actually a birthmark.
Wow, 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 wow! All right, who just kissed you? There's a big old... Wow, it's so wonderful to see you.
I feel bad for Amber Rose and I feel bad for Emily Ratajkowski when I hear this podcast and I hear two single women that are lamenting about men and lamenting about society. And I feel bad for men like Kid Cudi, and I feel bad for men like Harry Styles when I see them wearing a dress, because I know that this is not art and this is not creativity. These are people that are deeply upset and deeply unhappy. Buried underneath it all, these people are not happy. And this is the thing that makes no sense. We have a society and we have cultural messaging that is encouraging each of the sexes to pursue unhappiness.
In a recent wave of support for Shannon Sharpe following his controversial fallout after Cat Williams' interview, Candace Owens has stood out as a prominent defender. Known for her outspoken nature and commitment to truth, Owens has backed Sharpe for his bold exposure of powerful Hollywood figures, including Oprah Winfrey.
Hollywood has never felt this pathetic. They have never felt this meaningless. They have never felt this powerless, and that's for good reason. They are realizing that they're no longer rock and roll. Isn't that something? These people that branded themselves as against the grain, oh, I'm different, are lining up with the establishment, demanding that people get censored, right? Demanding the maggots have to go away.
Her defense highlights a growing sentiment among celebrities advocating for truth and integrity, further underscoring the need for more voices like Sharpe's in the fight against corruption and manipulation in Hollywood.
Everything that we're doing in the world right now is we're suffering from not being able to mind our own business. This idea, post World War II regarding international liberalism, that it was now we must spread our ideas everywhere and everybody must accept them. Maybe people don't want to live like Americans want to live. Have we ever thought of that? Like, maybe people in Iraq and Iran actually are not interested in the way that we live. Maybe people in Saudi Arabia are not interested in the way that Californians live. And by the way, if you're looking at what's going on in California and LA, does it seem like maybe people should be embracing American values and principles at this moment? Like, if you could buy them and purchase them right now as another country, you probably would be wanting to go the other way. Hence Uganda and the laws that they're putting in place trying to keep this LGBTQ agenda that Americans are funding all across the world. Why are we funding that?
Following the controversial interview with Cat Williams, Shannon Sharpe faced significant backlash and was effectively cancelled for exposing powerful celebrities within Hollywood, including Oprah Winfrey. Among those showing unwavering support for Sharpe is Candace Owens, renowned for her fearless truth-telling.
Yes! He told me, and my guy Jordan is over there, he said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything. Right. He said, they're gonna come. And they're gonna say a lot of different things. And they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get that they're not gonna come now. Right. And that's absolutely has happened. That's absolutely has happened. Thanks for reaching out. We can't wait to sit down. And a day later, they can't do it. And then no call, they won't follow, so forth and so on. So I understand what comes along with an interview like that. Did I expect it? No. Did I expect all the negativity that came along? Because, I had Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey did 8 million views, had Coach Prime, I've had a lot of comedians. Right. And some of the comedians had taken shots at other comedians, but nothing like this.
This issue brings attention to the pervasive issue of cancel culture, a dark side of the entertainment world that often silences dissenting voices. This incident underscores the need for transparency, accountability, and courage in challenging industry power dynamics.
Cancel culture is very real, but it's crazy when you see cancel culture being used by celebrities to other celebrities. This is Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe has a huge podcast which is called Club Shay Shay, which had a monumental interview with Cat Williams earlier this year, and that interview is still getting millions of views today. But ever since the interview with Cat Williams, where Cat Williams ousted dozens of celebrities and revealed a bunch of Hollywood secrets, Club Shay Shay has been going through a lot of turmoil. Celebrities canceling interviews that were booked months in advance, to celebrities just outright not even speaking to Shannon Sharpe when they see him in public. It's been said that Shannon Sharpe broke the #1 rule in Hollywood, which is to protect their secrets by all means.
We're supposed to protect our secrets from being exposed to the world. Shannon Sharpe, 3-time NFL's.
Oprah Winfrey is often seen as a gatekeeper in the entertainment industry, wielding significant control over many aspects of Hollywood. Her immense power extends beyond her media empire, impacting careers, opportunities, and narratives within the industry.
We're talking gatekeepers right now. Oprah's one of those. And Oprah got there by being one of the best talk show hosts of all time. Period. Books, talk show, all this shit. Black women love Oprah. Old to young. Black women love Oprah. However, there is something of a need to keep Oprah out of this. She does nothing wrong. She can do no wrong. She can do no wrong.
Dr. Umar Johnson has revealed that by exposing secrets of powerful black celebrities, Shannon Sharpe has broken an unwritten Hollywood rule. This act of truth-telling, according to Dr. Umar, underscores how the industry suppresses those who attempt to reveal its inner workings.
Before Shannon Sharpe interviewed Cat Williams, he interviewed Steve Harvey. And Steve Harvey coming on Shannon Sharpe's platform was kind of a big deal. Steve Harvey felt, Oprah felt, D.L. Hughley felt that Shannon Sharpe should have been a little bit more protective of the reputations of the persons discussed on his platform.
Sharpe's actions highlight the industry's resistance to transparency and its efforts to silence anyone who challenges the established order. This incident sheds light on the pervasive control within Hollywood, where revealing the truth can lead to severe repercussions, demonstrating the lengths to which the industry will go to protect its own.
Shannon Sharpe broke the Hollywood rule. And what is the Hollywood rule, Art? When you discuss black celebrities, as a celebrity, you never let nobody give up our most intimate secrets. You're supposed to protect our secrets from being exposed to the world.
Oprah Winfrey has masterfully crafted a motivational persona through her powerful and uplifting speeches, which resonate deeply with millions.
Your job is not always going to fulfill you. There will be some days that you just might be bored. Other days, you may not feel like going to work at all. Go anyway. And remember that your job is not who you are. It's just what you're doing on the way to who you will become.
Oprah words inspire and motivate, creating an image of wisdom and benevolence that captivates audiences worldwide. People admire and heed her advice, often viewing her as a beacon of positivity and success.
The word gratitude is one of those words that's overused, but when practiced, it can change everything about how you move through this world. It's my spiritual practice, and I know if you use it in those moments when everything feels like it might be falling apart, that's when you use it. It's great to do it. I mean, I journal every night too. I journal when things are going really well, but I'm telling you, it has the most powerful impact when you can do it, when you can sit and be grateful in the sorrow, when you can be grateful in the crisis, when the biggest challenge of your life has showed up and you still can find something within yourself to be grateful for. That's when it becomes the real deal.
However, this carefully constructed image also serves to mask a darker side, one that is rarely glimpsed by the public. Behind the scenes, Oprah's true nature and actions sometimes contradict the compassionate and generous persona she projects, revealing a complex individual adept at maintaining a polished public facade.
Because now I figured it out myself. And what you said, it actually builds confidence and validation. And
Oprah told me this when I first decided to build the studio, and I was asking how Harpo came to be. And she said, well, when she was doing her deal for the Oprah Winfrey show, she was re-upping her deal. And actually the first contract she made, she said, well, don't pay me up front. Just I want to own a percentage of the show. And so they gave it to her. Now, at the time, there weren't any black women hosting a daytime talk show, right? So it was really new. And she said, you know, Kobe, if they believed that the show was going to be successful, they wouldn't have given me that.
During an interview on her show, Michael Jackson started singing to avoid answering Oprah's intrusive and personal questions, a reaction stemming from her previous attempts to embarrass him.
Out of singing, wait. Yeah, and when you are, for instance, when we were here before, you know what? I mean, all the things ever printed in the tabloid, the only things ever been true is when they said I couldn't dance. When we were here the last time shooting the commercial, you were like in between shots, running off, conceiving the dance, choreographing the dance. You were up all night dancing.
Oprah tweeted a denial of various allegations against her, claiming they were untrue. However, public sentiment began to shift as more people grew skeptical of her intentions.
Let's just get into this because she actually has spoken about everything that has gone on around her. An online story that Oprah Winfrey was arrested on charges of sex, apparently, or human-related kind of trafficking, shot to viral status on this particular day in late March, early April, and she actually reference it and talks about it, and I had no idea. And she says, just got a phone call that my name is trending and being trolled for some awful fake thing. It's not true, haven't been raided or arrested, just sanitizing and self-distancing with the rest of the world. Stay safe, everybody. I'm not gonna lie to you, I genuinely do. I just feel like, she's had such an extensive relationship with Harvey Weinstein. They're together in so many pictures everywhere, best of friends. I just feel like to reach that level of a status of becoming a billionaire, you have to know what's going down somewhere. Like, I just feel like it's just to see it as a hoax and that's it, conspiracy, okay, bye, that's it. Like, I don't know, maybe there's something more to it, we just don't know. But to be honest with you, she did address the matter and she did speak on it. And I didn't report on that. And I felt like, this is causing a lot of scuttlebutt, a lot of conversation in the past couple of months.
Prince Harry's interview with Oprah Winfrey was a groundbreaking and deeply personal conversation that aired in March 2021. Oprah's probing questions and Harry's candid responses provided unprecedented insight into the royal family's inner workings.
So there's some inconsistencies because he's doing two things at once. He's going, I don't like the media, I don't like all the pressure. And then he's going, I'm gonna start a media company. I'm gonna go on Oprah. I'm gonna move 1 hour away from Hollywood. It's like, man, you couldn't move. You couldn't go on a worse show. You couldn't move to a worse place. Don't tell me you have no interest in the spotlight.
Yeah,
of course you do.
I think that him saying that was disingenuous. I also think that he has a certain level of lifestyle that I don't think he could take it down a notch. So he has to figure out how to support his lifestyle.
Many people became fed up with Oprah after learning about her true nature. The revelations tarnished her previously untouchable image and caused widespread disappointment among her fans.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
Oprah's famous car giveaway was seen by many as a ploy to bolster her image as a generous and kind person, a move that some critics believe was intended to distract from her negative behavior.
Oprah was, we all watched her, Oprah's favorite things. She gave so much stuff to the poor. She's always for the people. Her entire brand was for the people.
She gave stuff to the people that came to her show.
That's what I'm saying. One of the things that we all know was if you got to an Oprah show and Oprah's favorite things and those cars were
Christmas.
Given, remember
Everyone
all the
gets
cars?
a new car!
And like something crazy, like 90% of the people didn't get cars because she forced them to pay the taxes.
Pay the tax off
and
the car.
They couldn't afford the tax.
Yeah.
It felt so shady.
What is that?
Like, what does she get from that? Does she get a lot of money from branding that car company or?
Well, the TV show knows that's what's going to happen. They know the demographics of the people coming to their TV
it's all
show.
An image branding thing?
100%. I'm going to give everyone here a new car. Oh, 250 people get new cars.
Dude, that shit was the craziest thing ever on TV.
It is. Yeah, it totally was.
Furthermore, Oprah's rapid weight loss led to speculation and criticism, with some alleging she took shortcuts rather than adhering to a diet, further casting doubt on her honesty.
He sees it on TV as someone taking Ozempic and he talks shit about it. And he says, they're taking the shortcut, and we get into it about it. Because I get a little defensive. I don't think it's a shortcut. I think they're utilizing modern science. And hey, a cool medicine came out.
People who are abusing it, like celebrities who just want to lose an extra 10 pounds.
So you're only talking, so why are, you're lying. Because you talked shit about Oprah. She's not abusing it for 10 pounds. She has had an obesity issue her entire life.
Did you not say it would have helped our mothers? Our mothers were huge beasts. They would have saved her. It would have saved my mother. She probably lived longer. That's
exactly.
different.
But why did you say Oprah was taking a shortcut and you talked shit to the TV? Yeah, you did.
She looks thin to me already. She didn't look that big.
Because she took Ozempic.
Oh, I didn't know. I've seen her in her other years. She didn't look that big to me. She's lost a lot of weight before the past.
Behind her public persona, Oprah Winfrey was not the person she portrayed. Despite her image as a benevolent and inspirational figure, her actions revealed a more complex and less flattering reality. Over the years, her repeated lies and manipulative tactics have come to light, painting her as a baddie who skillfully deceived the public. This stark contrast between her public image and private behavior has led to growing skepticism and disillusionment among her followers.
Does Oprah have like a BBL or something? Like, does she have a...
I don't know. Not my type. But anyway.
How old is Oprah? Like 70 or something? You're hilarious, man. Like, who made Oprah the... Like, I feel you, though. I'm with you on this, bro. Who made Oprah the arbiter or the leader of, like, black people? Like, who?
She's 70.
Oh, my God. Let me see what she looks like now. I haven't seen Oprah in a minute.
So...
I don't know what she looks like now. That's what she looks like right now?
Yeah. So anyway, she came out, she stepped down. Everybody who's been noticing was commenting on her weight transformation and everything like that. They're like, oh my God, is this Weight Watch, blah, 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 blah. And she stepped down and then she finally admitted that she took the drug.
So she was lying the whole time.
It's just, I don't think it was lying because she never said she was on Weight Watchers, and like it was just she came out of darkness and she was skinny again.
Okay.
So everybody assumed it was Weight Watchers.
Right.
During an interview, Oprah addressed allegations regarding her properties in Hawaii. Her responses were scrutinized, adding to the mounting skepticism about her transparency.
Being happier in the midst of an onslaught of being terrorized and vilified online. I will say this, I came out of this experience, I was saying this to Arthur this morning, with so much more compassion for young kids, because I was thinking, what if I didn't really know who I am? What if I didn't have the assurance of Invictus, that I am the master of my own fate and the captain of my soul? So all of the online, being slander, tax, lies, conspiracy theories.
Would you look at that? Friends interviewing friends. Such great journalism. After all, it's one big club and we're not in it. Being terrorized and slandered online? There's a big difference between terrorizing somebody and calling them out on their BS. Like, you asking us for money and us saying, well, you're a billionaire. Why would you ask us poor people when you can just take care of it? I gotta give it to you, way to gaslight us. It's all our fault, and you're the perpetual victim.
Oprah's provocative question about the enjoyment of substances during an interview sparked controversy, revealing a side of her that contrasted sharply with her wholesome public image.
Do drugs give you any sense of relief?
At times. Don't forget, there were some times we laugh our tails off. We'd have a ball. I mean, sometimes you do have a good time. But when it gets to the point where you're sitting in your home and you're just trying to cover what you don't want people to know. It's painful. And then you want more, just so that you don't let anybody see you cry. Or let anybody see that, we're unhappy. It's not working. Why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me?
You thought that your life as Whitney Houston, as we know her, was done.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I had so much money and so much access to what I wanted, and everybody was giving me, what do you want? What do you need? And I didn't think about the singing part anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't miss it?
Nope. My life went...
Taraji P. Henson has openly criticized Oprah, accusing her of not treating black artists fairly. Their ongoing feud highlights the tension between Oprah and some of her peers.
One thing I found to be just a little bit weird is that video that came out with Fantasia and Oprah and Taraji, with Taraji was sitting outside. I know they spun it for it being like, oh, okay, well, Taraji was just coping. No, you can clearly see Fantasia face and you can see Taraji, because they said that they were all like, Taraji and Fantasia weren't getting paid enough on set, and they didn't have good trailers, and it was just a whole bunch of stuff that was going on behind the scenes that Oprah just happened to fix once like people started going onto the internet about it.
Nothing bad about Oprah is gonna ever get out there.
I think it's even crazier that Taraji even went online and like took back everything she said. Oh, Oprah took care of everything. Everything was fine, but she was just crying about how she wasn't getting paid. But then you got Tyler Perry on top of that, who came out and said,
another snake.
He said that he paid her the most she's ever gotten.
While Shannon Sharpe has received support from many celebrities, he has also faced backlash. Critics argue that his actions will damage his reputation as powerful figures in Hollywood may retaliate.
Shannon Sharpe, as a celebrity art, is supposed to know better. Shannon, you can't let Cat Williams go in on Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is an A-list celebrity. You can't let Cat Williams go in on Oprah. Oprah is an A-list celebrity. You can't let Monique go in on Oprah and Steve. They're A-list celebrities. Shannon Sharpe broke the one rule that is unforgivable by celebrities in show business. You never expose or reveal our privations and Hollywood secrets to the public. Steve Harvey violated that rule, and as a result of that, a lot of celebrities are being told not to interview with Shannon Sharpe. Not Steve, Shannon Sharpe violated the rule. A lot of celebrities are being told not to interview with Shannon Sharpe. A lot of his guests are canceling their interviews because they don't want to get blacklisted.
He had him on speakerphone, and that when she was talking to him, in that room was a man named Reggie Wells, who just passed, who used to be Oprah Winfrey's makeup artist, who he had a conversation with me and my husband.
Well, Steve, okay.
What was it? Let's go.
Let's go.
You started getting labeled as difficult.
Yes.
Why do you believe that happened? And do you see that changing, and why?
If Oprah was watching this, what would you tell her?
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments.
There was a time Monique, like so many black girls, saw Oprah Winfrey and dreamed of growing up to be just like her. Except the reality of her idol turned out to be much worse than she ever imagined, inspiring several young girls to dream of taking the stage one day. There was a time Monique was no different, growing up watching musicians like the Jackson 5 and wanting to become famous. And since she couldn't sing, she knew that the way she could have the world look at her was to become like her role model, Oprah Winfrey. But reality would later hit her hard, as she told an interview on Club Shay Shay has gone viral because she came to Shannon Sharpe's defense, who has been in the media a lot recently ever since his viral and controversial interview with Cat Williams. Williams didn't hold back on what he thought about some Hollywood elites, including the now disgraced Diddy, and Shannon was accused of not censoring any part of the interview. Taraji P. Henson, who is very dear to her. Taraji recently spoke up about wanting to quit the industry because of the discrimination. The Empire actress was reduced to tears, saying that she was tired of working so hard but not getting enough in return.
Tired of Taraji P. Henson's brutally honest and emotional explanation of Hollywood's pay disparity is going viral.
I hear people go, you work a lot. Well, have to. The math ain't mathin'. Big bills come with, they have to get paid.
What happened? The problem started with the promotions of the film. She attended all the promotional events for the film in America, which were part of her contract.
I appreciate you asking me that, Wanda. When people were saying that I wasn't promoting Precious, If you just look for yourself and don't take my word for it, during that time, I promoted the heck out of that movie. I was on the Oprah Winfrey show. We were doing magazines. We were doing radio interviews. So all the promotions that needed to take place in America, I was more than happy and more than willing, because that's what you do when you're trying to promote a movie.
The issue came with overseas promotions, which she wasn't contractually obligated to do and was now too busy for. She wasn't even going to be paid for it.
You said you know who this individual is, and the question that I would ask you is, if Lionsgate is not making a demand to us by simply asking what would it take to get Monique there, how is it a demand to give a retort, which is, was there a dollar amount associated with this? And then they reply, we do not pay for promotions. And we said, we completely understand. However, I would be remiss in not doing what I was supposed to do when someone says you have completed your obligations, or you, from a state side, she took that on as this is her obligation. Again, the proof is in the pudding. You've seen what it is that she's done. But when we say you've completed it and we want you to come in and do something for us, and the upgrade is that we're going to fly you over there first class and treat you well, but you really don't get an opportunity to enjoy it. And there was one other amenity that they had added on. We could even allow you to stay there a little later after everything is over. She respectfully declines.
And that is all it took for Oprah and Tyler Perry, black juggernauts who should have supported her, to blackball her in the industry. The problem is that this is after they both told her they understood where she was coming from. Tyler Perry tried to tell her that going to Cannes and winning an Oscar would get her better deals in the future.
In reference to Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey calling, they did. And Sydney and I did speak with both of them. Tyler Perry's conversation, he and I actually had in Las Vegas at one of Steve Harvey's neighborhood awards. And Tyler Perry called me into his room. He said, Monique, listen, if you go and promote this film, and I'm sorry, if you promote for the campaign of the Oscars, your next film, if you just get nominated, will be between $3 to $5 million. If you win it, it's between $6 to $8 million, because they were trying to get me to understand why I should go to Cannes in France to do the film festival. And I said to Tyler Perry in his room, and again, we always say, don't take my word for it. I said to Tyler, I said, brother, what I'm not into is the song and dance. I can't make that trip for free in the hopes that something may happen. Now, I've done all I'm supposed to do contractually and what I was obligated to do to promote that movie here. Well, no one knew the movie was going to do all of that.
Right.
Because initially, Lee was upset because before we went to the film festival in Sundance and it started getting all the hype, the studios were saying, who's going to want to see two fat black women on the big screen? No, thank you.
And Oprah even told her that she was right.
So when it came to us going to France, Oprah Winfrey, she did call. And when she and I initially talked, she said, what is it going to take to get you here in France? I said, sister, absolutely nothing. I am in the bed with my man and my children watching Curious George. Well, she kept asking questions, and at that point, Sydney got on the phone with Oprah Winfrey, and they had a conversation. And when they were done speaking, she said, I totally understand. Now, I then get a call back from Lee Daniels, and he said, wow, Oprah came up to me and said, you're right. She's really not impressed with all of this hoopla and awards.
This meant that even after winning an Oscar, her career suffered rather than flourishing. On Club Shay Shay, she brought up two people in particular. One was obviously Tyler Perry, who admitted to starting a rumor about her being difficult to work with.
I can't speak for Oprah. I can't speak for Oprah.
Will you do that?
My experience. I certainly can. I've never worked with Monique. All I can speak for is my experience on pressure. I don't give a damn about saying that.
Would you do what you wanted done for you, Tyler? It's real simple. Would you do what you would want done for you? Because you told David when he said his experience was wonderful, you said that was not your experience. And the question I would have, what did you experience with Monique and or I that made your interaction with us displeasurable? Especially,
I see exactly where you're going. What made my interaction displeasurable is to have to try to navigate between Precious, Lee, Monique not wanting to do any national press, not getting paid, having to navigate through all of that. That's where my problem was.
The second was Steve Harvey.
Monique, you're not wrong. And when I heard you go on the air and you said, my sister done burnt too many bridges, and there's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt I was?
Simone, now let me give you this. Because you and I had this conversation, I thought you went about it wrong. See, I felt that you had done yourself a disservice by the way you chose to go about it.
When you say, Mo, it's the way you went about it, and I want to explain that, and I thank you for saying that. Inequality is devastating, and it's extreme. And when people said, Monique, do you think calling a boycott was extreme? You damn right. But isn't inequality extreme? So we've got to get to a place where we're unafraid to say it out loud.
Okay.
What I would have loved, what I would have appreciated from my brother was had you picked up the phone before you went on the air and said, Monique, you've burned too many bridges and there's nothing I can do. See, I would have appreciated had my brother called me up and said, baby, let's talk. Because you doing that was a part of me being difficult.
Monique faced years of discrimination because of that simple rumor and got no support from her fellows. She even recounted a time Kevin Hart told his manager he didn't want anything to do with Monique after telling her she was like a mother to him. She even talked about how Tyler Perry's rumor cost her a role on Empire as well. And Oprah has never apologized for this. When talking about an incident where she recorded Tyler Perry admitting he started rumors about her, Monique said she appreciated Shannon letting Cat Williams speak his truth. Monique has come a long way from the start, and she's suffered a lot with no apology from Oprah as of yet, who's dismissed her claims as simple negativity.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive Channel. Oprah did a sit-down interview with Global Grind, and she responded to some of the comments that people like Donald Trump and Monique have made about her.
Levels, and people say negative things about you. Trump, Monique is in the media right now. Why do you continue to take the high road? Why don't you address it face?
Oh my gosh, because it's impossible. It's a law. You can't meet negative energy where it is. You have to rise above it. You have to transcend it. I would never stoop to try to meet somebody where they are negative.
Of course, Monique also had a reply to that.
Well, Monique swiftly responded to this interview and she said, Oprah, there is a difference between negativity for the sake of being negative, and there's a difference between the truth, which may be negative. If you notice, what you're not saying is, I've lied about anything, and that is very telling, don't you think? Hashtag truth will set you free.
And the worst part is that the Precious debacle isn't the only reason Monique has an issue with Oprah. Oprah invited the actress's brother, who had molested her as a child, onto her show, and her parents, which she had not informed or taken permission for. She recounted that Oprah had initially wanted her and her brother on the show, but Monique had said that while she could acknowledge people could change and didn't mind her brother being on the show, she didn't want any part of it.
Now, Monique, when she was younger, she was molested by her brother Gerald. And Oprah invited her brother Gerald to her talk show to talk about it. And not only that, she invited her mother and her father, which Monique was completely against.
Oprah on the phone. Oh, okay. Let me get it. Hey, sis, how you doing? Hey, Monique, I wanted to call you up because I got a phone call from your brother, the brother that molested you, Gerald. And he wants to know if he can come on the show. She says, well, we would like for you to come on the show too. I said, I don't want no parts of it. I said, because I know that nigga. I said, but everybody's allowed to change. And my brother could truly be a changed person, and he could come on the show and explain it.
But soon after the show aired, she realized that her parents were also on the show, even though she had told Oprah she wasn't on good terms with her mother.
I shared with this woman, especially about my mother. Now I want y'all to hear me. I shared with Oprah Winfrey that me and my mother were not on good terms.
The show comes on with Monique's brother, Gerald, the one who molested her. Then we were surprised to see her mother, her father, and her brother.
Now I'm watching the show with my mother, and keep in mind, me and my mother ain't spoken a minute, and we really going through it. My father, who, by the way, has now moved on to the next journey. He's deceased. Now my father's sitting there, and baby, he's so damn drunk. I knew that me and my mother was not in a good place. And had Oprah Winfrey said to me, oh, by the way, sis, I have your mother. I would have said, shut that down, because I don't want the world seeing my mother being so greedy over money that she's willing to do anything to go on your show and know that my brother is lying.
Rather than apologizing, Oprah proceeded to gaslight Monique.
This is what this woman says to me. If you think I did something to offend you, I want to apologize. If you think I did something, not let me apologize for doing that, but if you think I did something.
One thing's for sure, Monique won't let it up until she gets a proper apology.
Oprah was watching this, what would you tell her?
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
So basically, after the airing of the show, Monique says that she cut off all communication with Oprah. She did confront her at an industry party, but she's still feuding with Oprah, and she has not gotten that issue resolved, and she has not been able to get past it.
Are we going to see an end to this? And is Tyler Perry going to show up to Club Shay Shay, or will he and Oprah go after Shannon Sharpe next? Let's wait and see.
I told my team, it's how I carry myself. I ain't never treated nobody with no disrespect, even in times when I was like, okay, now you're trying to push me. But I'd be like, I'll let God fight my battles, because he said, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. So if something happens, I just let God fight it. And we keep it moving, because you got a business. As soon as you step out of pocket, they come after your what?
That's right.
Your business.
Fantasia Barrino recently took to social media to shed light on allegations involving Oprah Winfrey and Steve Harvey. According to Barrino, Oprah used Harvey to blacklist Taraji P. Henson in Hollywood. This claim follows a series of statements by 50 Cent suggesting that powerful industry figures like Oprah and Harvey manipulate careers behind the scenes. This controversy has brought to light the complex power dynamics within Hollywood, raising questions about the influence and fairness among top industry figures. These claims have sparked a mix of outrage and demands for transparency, although neither Winfrey nor Harvey has publicly responded yet.
Heard that Taraji was upset because you'd been asked to do a rental car. I personally called Toby Emmerich, who was at the time the head of Warner Brothers, and he said, well, that means we have to do cars for everybody. And I said, then we do cars for everybody. And if it's necessary, I will pay for the cars myself.
Come on, big
well,
hand,
we don't
Oprah,
want you to do
please.
that. So, from that
And
was
look
one
at the
thing,
fucking stranger
trailers
back
were
there.
another thing,
Why
food was
is he
another
there with
thing.
3 women?
Everything got handled.
And everything got
Everything
handled.
got handled.
I don't even know
There's no
why. I don't even know.
beef
But you know what? It's so disturbing to me. Why is my name even in this
Please.
conversation?
Because you're Oprah Winfrey.
Can I say something?
Why is my name
Can I
in this
say something
conversation?
before we
Because
leave?
I have
Stop
just
this
been the
shit.
champion for everybody.
Steve Harvey has spoken about the significant control that powerful figures have in Hollywood, noting that those with substantial influence, like himself and Oprah Winfrey, often survive allegations and controversies with relative ease.
Hollywood is a system. They have an ingrained system out there, man. You come out here, you get an agent. Then a lot of them got a manager too. And then when you sign a contract with a Hollywood attorney, they 5% of your contract for the duration. So if you sign a 5-year deal, they get 5% of your money for 5 years. And everybody falls into that deal, man, because they lock you in.
Oprah used Harvey's connections to limit Henson's career prospects, leveraging their combined power to orchestrate this behind-the-scenes campaign. These allegations have stirred significant debate about power dynamics and fairness in Hollywood.
People that look like me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I gotta put my brother Steve on the list. Y'all knew I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong. And when I heard you go on the air and you said, my sister done burnt too many bridges, and there's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt?
This problem that you had in Netflix is rich people problems. Because they looking at us going, you talking about you didn't get millions, or you got this, you ought to be cool.
But when you say, Mo, it's the way you went about it. And I want to explain that, and I thank you for saying that. Inequality is devastating, and it's extreme. And when people said, Monique, do you think calling a boycott was extreme? You damn right. But isn't inequality extreme? So we've got to get to a place where we're unafraid
to say it out loud.
Taraji P. Henson has been vocal about the challenges she faces as a black woman in Hollywood. She has expressed frustration over persistent pay disparities and the ongoing struggle for equal opportunities. Despite her success, Henson feels that black actresses often have to fight much harder for recognition and fair compensation.
Yeah, I'm a leading lady, so I know what it is to need support and how to support. And especially when you're dealing with something, the subject matter can be so dark. Yeah. You know, so there were moments on set when I was watching her, and when I knew she didn't need to stay into it, I'd go over there and make her laugh, you know, to lighten the mood a little bit. And whenever they yelled it's a rap, I was all in her face. Yeah. So she could go home and leave Celie at home, because it's a lot when you're dealing with, you know, playing these characters. You're on the set, you have your chakras all open, you're allowing this character to use your body as a vessel. Mm-hmm. And so you have to learn how to flip the switch on and flip it off. Otherwise, it could drive you mad. Mm-hmm. You know, because you have your own, like she says it all the time, she has her cross to bear and then your characters cross to bear. It's too much. It can be too much.
Furthermore, Monique has long accused powerful figures like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Steve Harvey of blackballing her in Hollywood after she refused to promote the film Precious without additional compensation. During a heated discussion on Steve Harvey's talk show, Monique expressed her feelings of betrayal, noting how Harvey criticized her publicly without prior discussion.
Mo told Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Lee Daniels to suck her private parts.
Not my private parts.
Well, you said if I had one, I want them three to suck my private parts.
Yeah.
It wasn't private parts on stage.
Taraji emphasizes the emotional toll of these battles and the need for systemic change to prevent future generations from facing the same obstacles. During a recent interview, Henson expressed her frustration over being consistently underpaid compared to her peers despite her significant achievements and accolades. She highlighted how exhausting it is to continuously break barriers and still have to start from scratch during pay negotiations. Henson's comments sparked further scrutiny of Oprah's role as a producer, with critics accusing her of not adequately addressing or rectifying these pay inequities. Social media reactions pointed out the contrast between Oprah's billionaire status and the alleged low pay for black actors in her projects, suggesting a deeper systemic issue within Hollywood's pay structure.
We feel about billionaires that we do not want them, we do not trust them, we do not like them, we do not want to see them celebrating anything, dancing, singing, none of it. And it is also a distraction from the real issue at hand, which is the systemic underpaying of black women for the work that they do, no matter their rank or their history or their resume in the business of entertainment.
Additionally, black women often encounter stereotypes that undermine their abilities and contributions. Despite these obstacles, many black women demonstrate remarkable resilience and strength, continuously fighting for equality and recognition.
We're supportive and cheerleading her on. However, this has nothing to do with that, so we wanted to clear it up. Guys, this is not me saying, oh, I'm mad with Taraji or Taraji has a problem with me. By no means. Me and that sister ain't doing nothing but hugging each other with our arms wrapped around each other saying, baby, go get yours. Go do it. With The Butler, you just saw that script.
I saw the script.
Now, you don't normally get scripts just to read a script, just to read it. I was offered the part of Gloria. With Empire, and as Sydney said, more to come, I was offered the part of Cookie. Now, I don't have an issue with Mr. Daniels saying, you know what? They want to go with Taraji.
Right.
No problem.
Oprah Winfrey recently addressed the controversy surrounding Taraji P. Henson, claiming she did her best to support the actress. When black women portray powerful characters or speak out against injustices, they sometimes face backlash, including being cancelled or blacklisted. This reaction is often fueled by a reluctance to accept strong black female figures challenging the status quo. As a result, these women may find themselves ostracized within their industries, their careers suffering due to their assertiveness and refusal to conform.
Because people are saying that I was not supporting Taraji. Taraji will tell you herself that I've been the greatest champion of this film, championing not only the behind-the-scenes production, but also everything that everybody needed. So whenever I heard that there was something that people needed, I'm not in charge of the budget because that's Warner Brothers. You know, that's the way the studio system works. And we as producers, everybody gets their salary. That's negotiated by your team. And so whenever I heard there was an issue or there was a problem with the cars or there was a problem with the food, I would step in and do whatever I could to make it right. And I believe that she would even vouch for that and say that is true.
I think she would vouch for that. I can vouch for that because I've seen you and your work and behind the scenes, how you step in and you have put your own money up.
I'm all for everybody being the greatest and rising to meet the rising of their own life. And so, I mean, all this stuff about
However, critics argue that Oprah's comments were more about preserving her public image as a kind-hearted and supportive figure rather than reflecting the true nature of her actions.
Now, Taraji P. Henson is out here saying she's gonna quit Hollywood. And she's been talking about the money because it's funny out here. You guys really have to put this into perspective. This woman has been in over 40 movies. I mean, she's had an above average career in Hollywood. She's been in successful films that have made a lot of money. Even if you break down her lead roles as an individual lead, she has made over $200 million. For a lot of people in the industry, that is unheard of. And even as a lead ensemble actor, she's been a part of big box office films. Even looking at her supporting roles, they've made a lot of money. One thing that I love about Taraji is that she's been talking about the pay for actors, especially for black actors. I mean, her career has been a rocky road, y'all. For many of you guys that have seen the David Fincher film, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, one of her first roles, she only took home $40,000. It was after taxes. And that was after she had tried to negotiate a deal of getting $500K for that movie. Fortunately, she was only able to come home with $150K. A large majority of that went to her team. It seems to be a recurring theme in Hollywood. This is why advocating for actors is more important than ever.
This situation has sparked debate about the authenticity of public personas and whether influential figures like Oprah are genuinely committed to supporting other black women or primarily focused on maintaining their reputations.
Viola Davis has voiced her concerns for so long. She's won every single award you can win. Unfortunately, that does not matter. Hollywood is a money game. Unfortunately, they're going to find a reason to not pay you. A lot of black actors' careers have been stifled because of this. Come on now, she could at least get decent pay. I really wish the best for Taraji, and if leaving Hollywood is what's best for her, I feel like she should do what she wants.
Despite being a prominent black woman herself, Oprah Winfrey has faced allegations of not treating other black women fairly. Critics claim that Oprah's actions and decisions have sometimes been detrimental to black women's advancement and well-being.
Now, this is getting interesting. Taraji P. Henson also made a comment regarding the Keith Lee situation. So she actually posted this IG comment recently. This is what it says. Life really is too short for this behavior. He wasn't in a seat. They gave celebrity assigned seats. I rehearsed all damn day to go hit my mark and that young man wasn't in a seat, so he missed his moment. His ego is hurt. He will be fine. I cleaned it up at the end of the show. No love lost here. # God bless. Now this comes right after Keith Lee giving his explanation of what happened. Now if you guys remember, he mentioned that he had no issues with Taraji P. Henson at all, but more so. But in this comment, she flat out said his ego was hurt. Now, it is important to know that she didn't make an apology live on the show, but apparently from what I'm reading, she also talked to them right afterwards. Now, I doubt we're going to hear from Keith Lee again regarding this situation because he has clearly moved on from this, but it is very interesting to hear all this from Taraji P. Henson. But after hearing all this, whose side are you on now?
The allegations suggest a need for introspection and accountability among those who hold power, regardless of their race or gender.
And she was crying because Whoopi had got in her ass because apparently, see, this is what Oprah be doing. Fantasia was like, well, since I'm finna play Celie, I need to call Whoopi Goldberg. Auntie Oprah, you got Whoopi Goldberg phone number? And Oprah says to Fantasia, that woman don't want to be bothered. That woman don't want to be bothered. The ancestors rose up out of the ground and put wind in Whoopi Goldberg's ear that Fantasia was looking for her. And when she found her, she let her know what the deal was. And then when it was time to promote the show, here came Oprah down to the ABC studios where Whoopi Goldberg is the GOAT down there. And tried to do her backpedaling, popping down there on stage and whatnot. And Whoopi was like, no, bitch, you ain't coming out on my stage until you tell me what happened, why Fantasia didn't have my number to call me.
Comedian Cat Williams recently made headlines by exposing Oprah Winfrey during an appearance on Shannon Sharpe's show. Williams discussed various issues, including Oprah's alleged mistreatment of black women, challenging her public image as a benevolent and supportive figure.
Y'all, I can't be silenced this interview. It's giving Dunning-Kruger. What is the Dunning-Kruger effect? It's something that happens when someone who isn't especially knowledgeable in a particular area overestimates how much they know or how good they are at a given activity. And a lot of people, through identity alone, and when I say identity, I mean their maleness, their race or ethnic group, their religious group, their age, assume that they have knowledge just because of their identity. And the tea is, you don't. They don't mean anything. Nothing. You know what you know because you know it, or you don't know it. And in the world of research, we use this term called epistemic humility. Even if you've been studying something for 50 years, you acknowledge that the things that you know might not be right, and that some new information and evidence can come forward that can challenge the things that you've been taught for all those 50 years. You have to have humility to know that your perspective is not the only perspective. But folks with Dunning-Kruger, they can't do it because they don't even know enough to know they don't know anything. Neil deGrasse Tyson said it best, as the area of my knowledge grows, so does the perimeter of my ignorance.
When black women speak the truth about their experiences and the injustices they face, they are often met with indifference or hostility. Society tends to resist acknowledging uncomfortable truths, especially those that challenge deeply held beliefs or expose systemic flaws.
Okay, so they saying that The Color Purple was snubbed by the Oscars. They saying that Taraji might be blackballed. Look, friend, it's Kiki. Don't come around me saying Taraji should have waited to speak up about her mistreatment behind the scenes. She should have waited until award season was over because that's why The Color Purple was against. Don't come around me saying that, please. Please don't. Because you know what? Nobody ever likes when a black woman speaks up. The Oscars never get it right. They don't. Okay, they done nominated the man in the Barbie movie. It didn't even get a Barbie one. Like, it's just too much. So let's not run with the narrative that Taraji was wrong for speaking up, because guess what? Whether she spoke up on Tuesday or Thursday, the result probably would be the same. We talking about people like Angela Bassett who don't even have Oscars. And she's still to this day Tina Turner in my mind. So in my opinion, listen, let's not go with the narrative. And please don't come around me talking about Taraji. See, she shouldn't have spoke up.
Black women frequently express a sense of futility when sharing their truths, believing that their words will not lead to meaningful change. This sentiment arises from repeated experiences of being ignored, dismissed, or retaliated against for speaking out.
Nobody ever likes when a black woman speaks up. And it doesn't matter when you do it, the results will be the same. You will suffer consequences for speaking out and speaking up. So do I think Taraji missed out on anything by telling her truth? Absolutely not. Because guess what? She wasn't being paid fairly before, and she would have had maybe she would have had an Oscar nomination and still wouldn't have been getting paid. She would have been broke with an Oscar nomination. Now, what can you do with that? That's all I got to say. Please don't come around me talking about this. Bye, friend.
She's also crafted an entire genre of television out of exploiting other people. If you've seen her highest rated shows, you'd know that although it's impossible to take away the fact that she might be one of a kind in the industry, one of the things that has helped her rule her line of work is her focus on highlighting people's pain.
I mean, money will make you do stuff as well, won't it? I mean,
Yes.
one, them, us,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, well, whoever.
If there's many millions riding on a decision, it's hard to be philosophical.
Yes. Yeah, very, very hard. Very hard to be, you know, you have to choose what level of integrity you're coming in at.
Fans are finally applauding Monique for publicly criticizing Oprah now that she's spoken out about feeling lowballed on her project.
Oprah Winfrey is one of the most prominent faces of Hollywood, a successful and respectable businesswoman and a role model for every woman around the world, or so you thought. The controversies surrounding Oprah are abundant, and despite her best efforts in keeping everything under wraps, her true nature is coming to light. The world is in shambles, but Hollywood has taken it to a whole another level. From famous rapper Diddy being involved in sex trafficking to Kendrick calling Drake a pedophile. But the last person you'd expect to appear in the middle of these controversies is Oprah.
Oprah Winfrey has built a reputation as a philanthropist and humanitarian. But Dave Chappelle always thought that there's another side to Oprah, and he's been trying to expose her for years.
I don't want black people to be disappointed in me for putting that out there.
No, you didn't want to be disappointed in yourself.
You know what, Oprah? You're right.
See, Oprah's been involved in numerous controversies throughout her career. From claims that she blackballs and destroys the careers of everyone who criticizes her, to much more disturbing allegations of alleged involvement in human trafficking.
It all started with Mel Gibson's new movie. Sound of Freedom is shaking things up big time. Mel didn't hold back at all, exposing some serious dirt on the elites and their dirty dealings. Public humiliation is their biggest fear, and Mel's ready to blow the lid off everything.
I was not emotionally prepared for the new film, Sound of Freedom. You've heard it referred to as a right-wing film, as a Christian film, as a conspiracy movie, as a QAnon film. You know, they use all the buzzwords to make this film as radioactive as possible.
Sound of Freedom, it specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by the high-level elites. Now, it's not true.
The movie highlights the very real, not conspiracy theory of human trafficking. Need I remind you of another thing that was considered a conspiracy theory up until 5 seconds ago, which was the fact that a little guy named Jeffrey Epstein had a little island where the most powerful people, the tippity top of government officials, celebrity, Hollywood, would go?
Gibson always had some weird, paranoid theories about Hollywood, but now he's laying it all out. So what's Mel saying? Let's dive in. Hollywood's always been full of scandals, but this one came as a shock through a movie. Sound of Freedom, directed and co-written by Alejandro Monteverde and starring Jim Caviezel, Mira Sorvino and Bill Camp, is making waves. The film tackles the serious issue of child trafficking, showing how kids are still in danger, dragged around by shady adults. You'd think a movie with such an important message would get global support, but nope, it's being buried, and the lack of media coverage is both sickening and suspicious.
I was really inspired when I saw that Sound of Freedom, another faith-based film, topped the box office. But then I started reading these articles from publications like the Rolling Stone and even the New York Times that seemed they were trying to discredit this film. And I just thought to myself, isn't saving innocent children something we can all agree on? And I've never been one for conspiracy theories, but I do find it strange that they're trying to, discredit this film when this organization that the film is about is clearly making an impact and helping these kids. Isn't saving children something we should be supporting? And definitely not writing it off as if it's some kind of fantasy.
Why? Because the elites don't want the public to know about their dirty secrets. This movie exposes the dark side of the industry, and influential people are working hard to keep it from reaching a wider audience. The film is based on the true story of Tim Ballard, a former special agent who's dedicated his life to fighting child trafficking. He even started Operation Underground Railroad with support from Glenn Beck. Despite its powerful message, major streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon snubbed it.
It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I had a lot of experience from the Passion of the Christ, and we were humiliated. We were taken through the ringer in the media. This was before Trump came out and said it was, the lying media and the fake news. And they were fake news back when we were doing that, but we had to fight for everything we had. And so we got that film done. So I had a little bit experience of what this can be like, but when God tells you what to do, you don't hesitate. So what led to that scene when Bill Camp asked me, when God tells you what to do, you don't hesitate. And all I could think about was my children. And of course, my eyes started to water because I just remember the miracle that happened, that God loved me. It's that much, and I would die for that love.
It's strange since these platforms usually support such causes. Even celebrities known for speaking out on social issues are staying silent, making Hollywood's collective indifference even more troubling. But there's more. Sound of Freedom was originally a Disney project, but they suddenly dropped it, leaving people confused. Rumors suggest there's much more behind this rejection and the lack of promotion, despite its star-studded cast. Some believe these platforms and the elites are deliberately ignoring the movie to protect their interests. Mel Gibson hinted about these shady elites back in 1998. He wanted out because he was scared and disgusted by what he saw.
Sideways. Through a crowd of people. He was wearing black. And it was like one of those old vampire movies where they don't walk, but they glide. And he was a dancer, so he has he's very, graceful.
Yeah.
And he moved sideways, and he just sat down in a chair next to me. And it kind of frightened me. And he's a very smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking, and I didn't, say much of anything about reading the script, nothing. I just started talking about the Middle Ages, and he began to talk tortures.
Oprah's been linked to Harvey Weinstein, known for his predatory behavior, yet she remained close friends with him, encouraging others to work with him.
In Hollywood, disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein is sentenced to 23 years in prison for rape and sexual assault in a landmark case. A New York judge gives Weinstein a heavy sentence, close to the maximum 29 years allowed. Allegations against the once powerful 67-year-old ignited the #MeToo movement, making him a pariah and ending his career. Weinstein once had a personal fortune estimated at $150 million. The Weinstein Company declared bankruptcy in March 2018 under an avalanche of lawsuits. Nearly 90 women, including Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Jessica Mann, and Mimi Halei, came forward to talk about Weinstein's 40 years of vile, predatory behavior.
This double standard is a huge red flag. Oprah also featured John of God, a faith healer later sentenced to 23 years for multiple charges of abuse. She gave him a platform, inadvertently giving him access to victims. Despite trying to salvage her reputation, Oprah's involvement with such figures raises serious questions. Her Leadership Academy in South Africa has also faced numerous controversies, from exorbitant fees to allegations of misconduct by staff. A former dorm supervisor, Virginia, allegedly abused students, further tarnishing Oprah's image.
One shocking incident involved an employee named Virginia, whose role involved overseeing the dormitories. It was discovered that she had engaged in highly inappropriate conduct with not one, but multiple students between the ages of 13 and 15. These vulnerable young girls, handpicked by Oprah herself, fell victim to the very person entrusted with their care. It was a stain on Oprah's reputation and a disturbing reflection of the Academy's inner workings. Desperate to salvage her image and protect the brand she had built, Oprah swooped in with a team of investigators to uncover the truth, but the darkness didn't dissipate with Virginia's scandal. Less than 2 years later, another controversy erupted within the walls of Oprah's Academy. Disturbing revelations emerged, shedding light on a culture of violence and intimidation among the students.
People are frustrated, believing the elites are trying to keep the truth hidden by burying movies like Sound of Freedom. They see through the facade and are demanding justice against these powerful figures. In short, Mel Gibson's movie is exposing a lot of dark secrets, and the elites are scrambling to keep it all under wraps. The public is waking up to the truth, and the industry's efforts to silence it are only making people more suspicious. But these are far from the only controversies she has been involved in. In fact, it looks like her career has been one scandal after another. It's surprising that this woman managed to be so successful. One of the most prominent backlash she faced was when she teamed up with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to launch a relief fund for Maui wildfire victims.
Last week, Oprah and The Rock announced that they would be starting a relief fund for the victims of the Maui wildfires. The People's Fund of Maui was given a solid $10 million to get off the ground. $10 million donated by Oprah and Dwayne combined.
Sounds great, right? But then they had the audacity to ask regular folks for donations. With Oprah's net worth sitting at a jaw-dropping $2.8 billion, people were furious.
So why is it just Oprah that's getting so much hate online? Well, it's because she has a net worth of roughly $2.8 billion. Billion with a B. The world is collectively furious at Oprah for having the audacity to ask working class citizens for charity when most people can barely afford to put food on their tables. The Rock and Oprah donated $5 million each to give the fund a head start. Well, guess what? $5 million to Oprah Winfrey is like $500 to us. Like, it's still a lot, but it's chump change to her.
Oprah responded to the criticism by expressing her disappointment, and honestly, that just made things worse. Oprah's show has featured some eyebrow-raising guests, but one of the most notorious was Suzanne Summers. Suzanne shared her anti-aging secrets, which included rubbing estrogen creams on her skin and taking a whopping 60 supplements a day. Medical experts were quick to slam this, pointing out the potential health risks. Oprah backed Suzanne's methods, even claiming she used them herself.
Was this woman claiming to be a health expert and a so-called self-help author? But surprise, surprise, a doctor she is not. Medical experts started bashing Oprah, claiming that this type of extreme hormone therapy would actually be the cause of several diseases and illnesses. You know, like cancer, Despite Suzanne's claim that her specially made, non-FDA approved bioidenticals are natural and safe, they're actually just synthetic conventional hormones that you can buy from a pharmacy. Oprah did everything in her power to sell this idea to her audience, believing 100% that these methods were useful, and even claimed that she used the methods herself to make herself feel incredible. So this lady would rather risk her audience getting cancer than just telling them the truth. Solid.
And it doesn't end there. Remember the iconic "you get a car" moment? Turns out those cars weren't entirely free. Oprah's team covered some costs, but the hefty tax bill left many feeling less than grateful.
Members received keys in a box on camera that Oprah claimed to be for their new cars. Everything has a catch, even now though. For someone who is known for being super charitable and generous, the word free clearly means something else to Oprah.
Oprah and her longtime partner, Stedman Graham, have never tied the knot. Oprah claims that marriage would jeopardize her independence and everything she's built. Interestingly, she still wanted Stedman to propose. Their unconventional relationship has survived rumors and speculation, but insiders say there's not much of a romantic connection there.
Oprah said she wanted to be proposed to but not married. For years, hundreds of weekly tabloid pieces speculated on our marriage. After accepting his 1993 proposal, I had reservations. I realized I didn't desire marriage. I wanted to be asked, she said. I wanted to know he thought I was worthy of being his missus, but I didn't want the sacrifices, compromises, and daily commitment required to make a marriage work. We knew my show life was my priority. Winfrey added, he and I agree that had we tied the marital knot, we would not still be together. Oprah's private life is impossible. Fans and journalists monitor their every move. Oprah's 1992 engagement to Stedman sparked media frenzy. The couple canceled the wedding. Winfrey and Graham remain a couple despite the annulment. Winfrey told Shonda Rhimes on Super Soul Sunday about her canceled wedding to Graham. ET Canada reported, I was supposed to do a book at the same time, she remarked. And the wedding and book coincided. On our way from the book party, Stedman stated he didn't want people asking me about the book at his wedding, which I didn't do.
On the other hand, in Kitty Kelly's tell-all book, it's revealed that Oprah had everyone from staff to guests sign ironclad non-disclosure agreements. This wasn't just to keep show secrets, but to protect Oprah's personal secrets too.
In Kitty Kelly's tell-all book about Oprah, the author mentions the confidentiality agreements that co-workers and guest stars were always made to sign. This included everyone from Tom Cruise to the person who made Tom Cruise's muffin. Over 500 staff members were forced to sign the document. One former employee, Elizabeth Cody, tried to write a book about her time working for Oprah, but she was apparently stopped by the courts, still being tied to the agreement that she had signed. The NDAs were not meant to be a way to keep just show secrets safe, but any and all of Oprah's secrets as well. According to Elizabeth, the document was signed by almost everyone in Oprah's life. She may have this brand of sweetness and kindness, but apparently that's not how she actually is. Elizabeth felt that she was in Oprah's pocket after she signed the paperwork. In 2010, a lawsuit was even filed against Oprah and her company because Unicus Performance Training claimed that they were fired for violating the terms of this agreement, specifically involving advertising with her name or the website of the show. That makes no sense.
Oprah is known for her sweet on-screen persona, but her stepmother Barbara paints a different picture. Barbara describes Oprah as controlling and quick to anger, with many staff members getting fired over minor issues. She also claims Oprah made her and her husband stay in hotels during visits instead of at her house.
But according to her stepmother, there is an unknown side to this woman, hidden from fans for years. According to Barbara, Oprah is one of the most controlling people that you will ever meet in your life. She claims that Oprah would not allow them to stay at her house when herself and her husband would try to visit, forcing them to stay in hotels with money out of their own pockets. Barbara also said that Oprah was quick to anger when it came to her staff, with several people being fired left and right over the years for the littlest things. But that's not all. Despite being a billionaire, Barbara allows her to stay at her house when she visits, something that Oprah apparently hates. The first time she actually stayed at her stepmother's place, Oprah allegedly complained that her bed sheets were not 1,000 threads and that her bath towels were not big enough. Okay, that one I can forgive. Ever use a giant towel? I'm never going back. This woman has billions of dollars to do literally anything she wants, and apparently what she wants is to make her family feel like a burden.
Oprah is a big advocate for animal rights, even forcing her staff to join her on a 21 21-day vegan cleanse. While it was technically optional, employees feared they'd be fired if they didn't participate. Oprah's demanding nature behind the scenes made this cleanse feel more like a mandatory ordeal. Oprah's own book reveals she wasn't an easy kid. Oprah admits to doing some pretty wild things.
In her own book that she wrote, she revealed that growing up she was far from an easy kid to handle. When she was young, she was sent to live with her father Vernon after Oprah was caught stealing from her mother's purse. Despite being an on-screen persona known for charity and kindness, she was actually a menace throughout most of her life, according to family members. As I mentioned previously on this list, Oprah's stepmother is not allowed to stay at her house, and she's known to be pretty controlling. She admitted to doing some pretty troubling things at a young age, including staging an amnesia bout, breaking several things in her mother's home, and calling the police. According to Oprah's mother, she was uncontrollable, ungrateful, and after robbing her, maybe a little crazy.
Oprah is also responsible for launching the careers of Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz. Dr. Phil, originally brought on to help Oprah with a trial, found his niche in TV thanks to her.
For Phil, he brings people on his show who are struggling with personal issues that just so happen to be good for television. Remember that Catch Me Outside girl? Dr. Phil made her rich and famous. But it's not just Phil that's had some controversial moments though. Her other protege, Mr. Dr. Oz, has had some pretty rough moments. His show is centered around medicine and health, bringing so-called experts on every week.
Despite the controversial nature of their shows, Oprah has profited significantly from their success.
Oprah Winfrey, she did call. And when she and I initially talked, she said, what is it going to take to get you here in France? I said, sister, absolutely nothing. I am in the bed with my man and my children watching Curious George. Well, she kept asking questions, and at that point, Sydney got on the phone with Oprah Winfrey, and they had a conversation. And when they were done speaking, she said, I totally understand. Now, I then get a call back from Lee Daniels, and he said, wow, Oprah came up to me and said, you're right. She's really not impressed with all of this hoopla and awards.
Oprah Winfrey's recent cancellation has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, prompting a wave of reactions from celebrities. Allegations have surfaced, accusing her of various wrongdoings over the years, which have now come to light as numerous individuals have chosen to expose her. The unfolding scandal marks a significant shift in Oprah's public image, challenging the legacy of one of the world's most influential figures.
Monique, why is she canceled? And then I know Tyler wouldn't support that. He never told nobody not to work with her. When I talked to him, he was like, nah, I never told no one not to work with her. And I said, but you Tyler Perry, and you never told anyone to work with her.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I never looked at it like that. Because I said, you just got to consider how strong your influence is at that point.
See, Whoopi Goldberg told me the salary she makes from The View, and that hurt my feelings, that you've been there for 10 years and you accept them paying you that, and you telling me, don't worry about the little one coming up. God damn if I ain't got to be worried about you too, because you accept that salary, it makes it hard.
What I think is also interesting, you mentioning Oprah, it seemed like definitely a disappointment to see someone that you looked up to. The character didn't match your character of what you felt was also important. And I think about Whoopi Goldberg, you being a black woman stand-up comedian, and you going to her show, and from what I kind of gathered, she brought up the whole Netflix thing, and you guys talked about being blackballed on The View. And backstage, she tells you something in the regards of don't worry about the other ones coming behind you, worry about yourself. How did you feel initially?
Dr. Umar Johnson has weighed in on the allegations against Oprah Winfrey, emphasizing her immense power and influence. He questioned who would dare to stand against Oprah, noting her ability to cancel anyone who attempts to cancel her. According to Dr. Umar, Oprah's status as one of the most powerful individuals in the world grants her a unique position of control, making it difficult for critics to successfully challenge her.
A lot of his guests are canceling their interviews because they don't want to get blacklisted by Oprah. Who wants to be on the wrong side of Oprah in Hollywood? Who wants to be on the wrong side of Tyler Perry in Hollywood? Who wants to be on the wrong side of Steve Harvey in Hollywood? And as a result of that, Shannon Sharpe, here's what I think. I don't think they could cancel Shannon Sharpe. You know why? He's too popular
He's not about the grassroots struggle. If he was, he would date black women, and he doesn't. So Shannon Sharpe is not no freedom fighter, don't get me wrong. But his audience is the everyday black community. So how can Oprah cancel that? How can Tyler cancel that? They can stop him from getting A-list interviews. Oh, you can believe that. They're gonna stop him from getting A-list interviews. But I don't think they can stop the momentum of his platform. Congrats to my brother. I like to see black men do well. Shannon Sharpe has one of the more popular platforms. You have one of the more popular platforms. He's going to continue to grow, and I want to continue to see that. And to be honest with you,
Cat Williams has been vocal about his long-standing quest to uncover Oprah Winfrey's secrets, finally bringing them to light. Unlike many, Williams is unafraid of the repercussions, confidently asserting that his own powerful personality shields him from the threat of cancellation. Known for his fearless stance and outspoken nature, Williams claims he has nothing to lose and is not intimidated by the potential backlash from the Hollywood industry.
Oprah, she's a little bit older. She has to be in tune with the young ones out there. With the younger generation, they want to see happy, they want to see color, they want to see positivity, they want to see black excellence, they want to see them achieving things. They don't want to see themselves repressed in that mommy hole. Not at all. And that is, I think, where the situation is. They consider her a handler for the higher elites. And Kat has been calling her out. Now I'm finding out for years. The thing for me is that I don't think you can destroy somebody who's not afraid. Kat is not afraid. Kat does not rely on Hollywood for anything. He is self-funded. If he never works in Hollywood again, he doesn't care. I think this bomb was the perfect storm. I'm talking about Cat Williams, the Cat Williams interview. I think it was the perfect storm. And sometimes you don't see it coming for you. But it was already set in motion when you started with a film that basically America didn't want. Black America did not want.
Joe Rogan has weighed in on the controversy surrounding Oprah Winfrey, suggesting that the allegations against her might hold some truth. On his podcast, Rogan discussed the claims, noting the gravity of the situation and the potential implications for Oprah's leg, made striking accusations against Oprah Winfrey, alleging that she operates as a Hollywood handler who has the power to cancel and ruin the careers of many. Chappelle's comments suggest that Oprah wields significant influence behind the scenes, manipulating the careers and lives of individuals within the industry.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Michael Jackson reportedly became annoyed during his appearance on Oprah Winfrey's show due to her probing and personal questions. The line of questioning, which Jackson found disturbing and embarrassing, led him to start ignoring Oprah during the interview.
Are you a virgin?
How could you ask me that question?
I just want to know. I want to know.
I'm a gentleman.
You're a gentleman.
I'm a gentleman. I'm a gentleman.
Okay. I would interpret that to mean that means that you believe that a lady is a lady, and therefore...
That's something that's private. I mean, shouldn't be spoken about openly. You can call me old-fashioned if you want, but, to me that's very personal.
So you're not going to answer it?
I'm embarrassed.
In one of her more controversial moments, Oprah Winfrey faced criticism for an interview where she asked twin guests deeply personal questions, leading to their discomfort. This incident raised concerns about the boundaries of interview tactics and the ethical considerations of probing into private matters.
Clip that I have seen of Oprah that has been
something that has upset a lot of people and upset me watching it is how she asked the Olsen twins about what size they are. I actually just watched this full interview yesterday. I find it extremely fascinating to like go back and watch like really old TV. So I've been watching a lot of old Barbara Walters interviews, which, oh, those are terrible. A lot of old Oprah ones. And so I watched the full one with the Olsen twins. In this interview, instead of really trying to get to know the Olsens as individuals, I mean, they literally said in this interview that they want to be known as an individual people instead of just the Olsen twins. Tabloids and stuff kept exploiting Mary-Kate and talking about how she had an eating disorder, this, that, and the other. And it was like a big, huge thing back then. And the tabloids were so mean about her. It was awful. The tabloids back then were the most toxic thing. You know, Oprah has always just come off as like this sweet, understanding woman, and you have these two kids sitting on your couch. They were 17 at the time, and if they are struggling with an eating disorder in this moment, the last thing you should ever ask them should be, what size are you?
While Oprah is known for her in-depth and sometimes intrusive interviewing style, this particular instance highlighted the potential negative impact on guests. It served as a reminder of the delicate balance between journalistic inquiry and respect for personal boundaries.
It's basically a doppelganger of Oprah. She looks so much like her, it's unreal. She is constantly getting asked about if she's Oprah, and you can imagine that it's probably in this moment extremely exciting for her to finally get on the show and to get to meet her. Only thing that Oprah can say is, you need to curl your hair. And she just keeps telling this woman that you need to curl your hair, and I'm sitting there thinking, why is she being so rude?
This unexpected reaction raised many eyebrows and created a tense atmosphere on the show.
Out of singing, wait.
Yeah. And when you are, for instance, when we were here before, you know what? I mean, all the things ever printed in the tabloid, the only things ever been true is when they said I couldn't dance. When we were here the last time shooting the commercial, you were like in between shots, running off, conceiving the dance, choreographing the dance. You were up all night dancing.
And she didn't leave.
Jaguar Wright, renowned for her candid and outspoken nature, has also exposed Oprah Winfrey, asserting that powerful personalities often evade accountability for their crimes.
They don't like us because they not like us. They wish they were. See, you keep diluting the greatness of a people, and what you'll have is a shadow of what it was ever meant to be.
Wright's revelations add to the growing chorus of accusations against Oprah, suggesting that her immense influence has allowed her to sidestep repercussions for various wrongdoings.
How are these people able to keep going on with the career?
What do you mean?
Doing these heinous crimes.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm just saying,
you ain't never had a boy that you know did a whole bunch of dirt and you let him make it? You telling me that never happened? You never had somebody in your life who you know was dirty, who you know did dirt, and you let them make it.
I see what you're saying, but
think about that on a corporate level.
Right.
R. Kelly was the first corporately sponsored pedophile in the United States. Everybody knew. That's why I couldn't really watch that documentary, because half of the people that was in there, I can't believe he did it. You used to go get the bitch too. I watched you, dog.
Ellen DeGeneres' decision to come out as gay on Oprah Winfrey's show was a groundbreaking moment in television history. Prior to this interview, Ellen's orientation was not publicly known.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wondered if you could comment on her comment about how she didn't know your whole life, and then all of a sudden you realized in that room, because I'm just getting the impression that people who are gay tend to know from birth, and you kind of disputed that, and I just wondered if somebody who is wanted to comment on what you think about that. Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, she's asking you, Ann.
I didn't all of a sudden feel like I'm gay. I just all of a sudden felt, ooh, I love. Wow, this is new.
For me to speak and be able to answer the questions and say what I feel. Unfortunately, that's when you're a public figure, you can't control that.
No, Bob.
So
Yeah.
I'm sorry for
you see,
all
Ellen
that too.
chose to do Diane Sawyer, chose to do this show, and chose to do Time Magazine, and everything else you've seen, heard, has come from that.
I mean, I just read an article the other day in the New York Times attacking that the show would have been good if there wouldn't have been so much hype about it. So now here's another article writing about all the hype about so they're contributing to it and attacking me for it, and I haven't contributed to any of that.
Despite these allegations, there are still some people who get influence from her. Oprah Winfrey's influence extends far beyond her television show. As a media mogul, philanthropist, and author, she has shaped public opinion, inspired millions, and driven social change.
I would watch Oprah be so compassionate to her guests and always talk about really important topics. That is, I think, what drove me to say, if I ever got into broadcasting, I would want to do it to help people. It would not be because I wanted to see my face on TV, which there are some people who get into this business and it's, they want to be on television. And I always said, if I do this, I want to do it in a way that impacts people and in a way that helps people.
Oprah Winfrey cultivated an image of authenticity, compassion, and wisdom, earning the admiration of millions. Her ability to present a relatable and trustworthy persona made her a beloved figure. However, recent allegations suggest that this public image may have masked darker aspects of her life and actions.
Let's talk about the three most important things that you talk about in the book. It's relationships, it's legacy, and
purpose.
Purpose
has been so misunderstood and abused. It's become this idea of trying to find out what is my purpose, like what's special about me.
Yes.
And people become obsessed with that. It's like, I don't know my purpose, I can't move forward. And I think we need to take on a different definition. In many indigenous communities, the definition of purpose is about the role you play in your community, the gift you offer to meet a need in a community you're a part of. And when I do that, I'm living on purpose, and I can live on purpose all day, every day. If I see a need, what gift do I have to offer to meet it? In communities that I'm with. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. I can do it 100 times.
It's not some big thing that's out here.
I can do it 100 times a day.
That's right.
That's it. And suddenly I'm free. I don't need to find anything.
This duality highlights the complex relationship between celebrity image and reality.
One person who I really was starstruck, even to this day, bro, was Oprah, bro. I have an assistant engineer credit with her on this movie.
Hey, yo, Monzo, we got a hit, boy. That's crazy.
Look, she came in, she gave me a hug, bro, and I felt some weird. I was like, what the f? I was shaking kind of, and I've never felt like that ever.
Oprah,
like that.
God.
Crazy.
Just like this lady literally saves lives.
Oprah's unique ability to connect with her guests and viewers made the show a staple in many households.
Word. All right. And you gotta give me the first word that comes to mind.
Okay, cool.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Faith.
You got it.
Love.
You got that.
Mozzarella.
Oprah. I keep seeing it like it's growing and growing, and I see the set.
We was just talking about this in here the other day. Oh my God, I'm gonna keep going. Light, something too. No, I love that. And it's funny because I had to crack up on Oprah. We were just in here last week and we were talking about it. I was like, I think I tapped into my inner Oprah with my cut, when she got fired.
Yeah, I feel like that was
Chicago, and she's like, okay, I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm ready. So that's definitely made me
laugh. You ready?
But we're grinding. We're here for sure.
The regular viewership was a testament to Oprah's magnetic presence and the show's relevance, making it a significant part of many people's daily lives and establishing Oprah as a household name.
My mom used to work for Oprah Winfrey, yeah. She was her flight attendant on her private airplane.
Okay, that's pretty sick.
There's way better people to flex on than Oprah Winfrey.
No, I don't think that there is, actually. I think Oprah's a pretty
Oprah
big
Winfrey
flex.
sucks.
Oprah's dope as
I hate Oprah.
Why do you hate Oprah?
I have a personal reason to hate Oprah. She took my mom away from me, so ha.
Just like because she had work?
Yeah, my mom would be like 2 weeks in Africa. Hey, I'm gonna go to Nelson Mandela's house.
Bro,
I'm gonna go to for 2
dope.
weeks.
What are you hating for?
My parents were gone a lot during my childhood. That's traumatic. My dad's a pilot as well, not for Oprah, but he was a Delta pilot. So my dad flew a 747, so they were gone a lot. I had nannies growing up.
I can understand how that
so
would be hard.
it's just, I have a personal reason to not like Oprah. I don't really watch her in the media, so I don't care about that shit.
I just know she's like wicked nice. That's it. I mean, hopefully nothing Ellen comes out about Oprah. So
And then you see my head shaking.
She's not nice.
No, not really.
Interesting.
Sorry, Oprah.
However, recent allegations have shocked many of her fans, leading to feelings of astonishment and betrayal. The revelations challenge the idealized image that many hold of Oprah, forcing them to reconcile their admiration with these new claims. Despite this, a significant number of fans continue to support her, underscoring the complexity of fan loyalty and the difficulty of dismantling long-held perceptions.
What I want to know is, who is your celebrity who you are literally like ride or die for? Like, you literally love this celebrity and you support their rights and you support their wrongs. You support their fumbles and you also support the bag. Like, you're literally there day in, day out. You're with their content. You're supporting them. You're lifting them up. For me, it's Miss Oprah Winfrey. I have been an Oprah stan since I was literally a child. When I would get home from elementary school, Oprah would be on at 4 p.m. every single day.
Celebrity admiration often leads to unwavering support, regardless of controversies. In Oprah's case, many fans continue to stand by her, appreciating the positive influence she has had on their lives and society.
I was literally watching just like all of these interesting romantic stories and like relationships and family drama, and it was just so interesting. And so I immediately was like, okay, I'm a fan. As I got a little older, I got into her books, her podcasts, the OWN Network. I got into Iyanla Vanzant, one of the women that she works with, who does an awesome TV show. I started watching all of the Oprah shows. I started watching, I rewatched the actual Oprah show talk show. And then I also started watching Super Soul Sunday, which is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I've listened to all of the podcast episodes. I love this woman. I've read all of her books. I literally love this woman. She can do no wrong to me. If someone's beefing with her, I'm on her side. I don't even need to know what it's about.
Listen, you gotta stop acting like you don't know what you know. Stop acting like you don't see what you see. Stop acting like that thing, that person, that situation doesn't give you a rumbling in your gut that reveals the absolute truth. Because every time you do that, you betray yourself. And when you betray yourself, you invite others in to betray you. Stop acting like you don't know what you know.
Oprah Winfrey is distressed as Iyanla Vanzant takes the bold step of exposing her, given Oprah's significant influence as a prominent Hollywood figure known for cancelling those who reveal her secrets. Iyanla Vanzant, a renowned life coach, author, and TV personality, is celebrated for her inspirational guidance and healing approach on the show Iyanla Fix My Life.
Oprah seemed annoyed and frustrated at the standing ovation that Monique received when she was getting her Oscar. As we remember, Oprah Winfrey was the executive producer of Precious, and it seemed at that moment that Oprah was not pleased to see someone else receiving a standing ovation for what she considered her hard work. Monique did not confront Oprah about this situation and just simply moved on with her life and her career. Later that same year, Monique got a phone call from Oprah Winfrey, and Oprah informed Monique that she was considering having Monique's brother, Gerald, onto the Oprah Winfrey Show. Oprah out for some airtime to be able to publicly apologize to Monique and discuss what he had done to her. Monique responded to Oprah saying that she wanted nothing to do with her brother in any capacity. Oprah then assured Monique that if she wanted her to just completely scratch the show and not bring her brother on to interview him, she would oblige. But Monique went on to assure Oprah that if she really wanted to interview her brother, she would not get in the way. Oprah took that and ran with it. Not only did Oprah invite Monique's brother onto the Oprah Winfrey Show, she also invited Monique's parents onto the Oprah Winfrey Show, and the three of them would discuss Monique's childhood trauma in her absence.
Iyanla Vanzant exposes how Oprah Winfrey looks down on Black people and fails to pay them what they deserve. For many years, there have been numerous allegations against Oprah, claiming she does not treat her guests on her show properly.
Are you a virgin? How could you ask me that question? I just want to know. I want to know. I'm a gentleman. You're a gentleman. I'm a gentleman. So I'm a gentleman. So, okay, I would interpret that to mean that means that you believe that a lady is a lady, and therefore...
That's something that's private. I mean, shouldn't be spoken about openly. You can call me old-fashioned if you want, but, to me that's very personal.
So you're not going to answer it?
I'm embarrassed.
Additionally, there are accusations that Oprah has played a role in cancelling many celebrities within the industry, using her significant influence to silence those who oppose or expose her.
Thank you for staying up late with us here on The Factor Uncensored. We have a great program for you, as we do every night. Oscar-winning actress and comedian Monique is making it clear how she feels about Tyler Perry. They have been feuding for years. Monique had accused Tyler Perry and Oprah of blackballing her from Hollywood. And despite Monique apologizing to both for those claims back in February, it appears Monique still has hard feelings towards both Oprah and Tyler Perry. She went in on the icons during a recent comedy performance. Take a look.
You Oprah Winfrey, you Tyler Perry. That cold I said it. Say it with me. You Oprah Winfrey, you Tyler Perry, you cold. Now some got scared. It was like you going too far, bitch.
What happened? I was on Oprah's show, on the Oprah Winfrey show, doing Change Your Life TV, and then people saw me, and other networks came after.
So it's not selfish to put yourself first.
No, it's self-full.
It's self-full.
It's self-full to be first, to be as good as possible to you, to take care of you, to keep you whole and healthy. That doesn't mean that you disregard everything and everyone.
Oprah Winfrey is not the saintly figure she appears to be on screen. Despite her public image as a compassionate and inspirational leader, there are numerous allegations that paint a different picture. Despite appearing saintly, Van Zandt reveals Oprah as quite the opposite.
That's when it's game on.
But why am I over here crying? Because we love each other. We love each other. We've loved each other for a long time. And that's a beautiful thing, that women of color can love each other, support each other. And we don't have to be in each other's face. But there's never been a time that I text you that you didn't respond. Never been a time that you text me, I didn't respond. And that's what relationships are about. It's not about being in your face. And that's why I do the R spot.
Van Zandt reveals the truth and claims Oprah of mistreatment, underpayment of black individuals, and using her influence to silence critics, tarnish her reputation.
Because people are saying that I was not supporting Taraji. Taraji will tell you herself that I've been the greatest champion of this film, championing not only the behind-the-scenes production, but also everything that everybody needed. So whenever I heard that there was something that people needed, I'm not in charge of the budget because that's Warner Brothers. You know, that's the way the studio system works. And we as producers, everybody gets their salary. That's negotiated by your team. And so whenever I heard there was an issue or there was a problem with the cars or there was a problem with the food, I would step in and do whatever I could to make it right. And I believe that she would even vouch for that.
Oprah Winfrey is known for her influence in Hollywood, often managing the careers and reputations of many. A prominent example is Monique, who continues to assert that Oprah is behind her career blacklisting. Monique claims that Oprah used her considerable power to hinder her professional opportunities, significantly impacting her career trajectory and highlighting a darker aspect of Oprah's influence in the industry.
I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels. And I said no to Lionsgate. And the difficulty came in when people that look like me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I gotta put my brother Steve on the list. Y'all knew I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong. And when I heard you go on the air and you said, my sister done burnt too many bridges, and there's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt?
Monique's allegations suggest that Oprah's actions were a deliberate effort to undermine her professional success, contributing to a larger narrative of Oprah's alleged misuse of power to silence and control those who challenge her.
Listen, I don't care where the money comes from.
Pay me.
I don't care where the money comes from. He said, well, I'm not in the business of writing checks for free. I said, and I'm not in the business for working for free. So we have a mutual agreement. No problem. We got up, we hugged, everything is good. When they knew that I was not gonna be the actress or be the one to say, because it's them, I gotta do it. No, I don't care who it is. That's not fair for you to want me to work for free just because it's you. So now here comes the blackball.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Now here comes, she's difficult to work with. Her and her husband, they are difficult. They are these difficult people. So now nobody's gonna touch Monique because Oprah Winfrey said nothing though there was a conversation that she had with my husband, and she agreed with the position that was being taken. So when it hit that I was difficult, she stayed quiet and said nothing. When we find out that Tyler Perry has actually told another director named David Talbert how difficult I was to work with, and David Talbert told Tyler Perry, he said Monique was a joy.
Iyanla Vanzant continues to reveal the truth and expose Oprah Winfrey's controversial actions. Despite Oprah's powerful influence and public image, Vanzant courageously highlights the discrepancies between Oprah's on-screen persona and her off-screen behavior.
This group of audience members, these 276 people, had been hand-selected by the producers of the Oprah Winfrey Show because each of them had a desperate need for a vehicle, but they could not afford to purchase a vehicle for themselves.
In the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
Racism and prejudice. Jane would break Oprah's audience into 2 groups, separating those with brown eyes from those with blue eyes.
But they have no idea that they were separated. What we did was treat each group differently, discriminating against the people who have blue eyes, catering to those people with brown eyes.
Come on. Close your eyes. Over there. No, over there.
Audience members with brown eyes were allowed to enjoy coffee and donuts. The blue-eyed group became upset when they saw the brown-eyed people were being seated first.
Iyanla Vanzant discusses on The Breakfast Club why she left the Oprah Show. Vanzant's revelations left many questioning the true reasons behind her exit. Oprah's subsequent call to Vanzant appeared to be a strategic move to manage public perception and mitigate the fallout from these allegations.
You see, I had already been an author that had sold over 6 million books, 14 different titles. Yes, and I went on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and Miss Winfrey asked me back again and again and again, and eventually I became part of her Change Your Life faculty, and it was all good. I had traveled all over the country. I had done her show repeatedly, but I didn't know my own sense of worth. What Oprah was offering me at the time, I didn't think I was worthy of, so I had to blow it up, and I did. That's the bottom line. I didn't think I was worthy of it because I was in the doing. I wasn't in the being. And she was offering me a way of being that I couldn't receive. I just wasn't worthy.
Moreover, Oprah is also accused of supporting and being involved in child trafficking. Oprah appears to condone pedophilia. In her show, she discussed the confusing perspective of a 7-year-old child who has been physically touched by someone. She stated, "Even if you don't have a name for what that is, it feels good."
In order for it to work, it has to be somebody you know, somebody you admire, somebody you respect, or maybe even love. And it feels good. I mean, if you're 7 years old and somebody, which I was trying to say this to my friends who had children, you're 7 years old and someone is stroking your penis, it feels good. Right. Even though you don't have a name for what that is, it feels good.
And that was such a particularly challenging part for me in beginning therapy. That was one of the biggest things I kept bringing to therapy was, what does it mean that it felt good? What does that mean about me?
That's one of the reasons it's so confusing for children. Yeah. And when I first said this years ago, people were like, "You're crazy," because everybody wants to believe it's like sexual assault and you're being thrown up against the wall and you're being raped. And I have said for years, if the abuser is any good, you won't even know it's happened. You will be in it and you won't even know it's happened. And if the abuser is any good, he or she is going to make you feel like you're a part of it.
Furthermore, Oprah's celebrated initiative of opening a girls' school in Africa is shrouded in controversy. Although seen as a noble endeavor, disturbing incidents have occurred since the school's inception.
Girls' education in South Africa. And I'm going to go village to village, personally myself, and with a team of people, and pull young girls out of villages and huts who would never, ever dreamed or had an opportunity for an education because you're a second-class citizen if you're a girl in Africa and other countries, and give them an opportunity to come to my school and become the leaders of Africa. And I'm doing that one brick at a time. I'm building a girls' academy, and I'm building
a school.
Was this all your idea? Is it the model, or are you reproducing something that has worked somewhere else in the world? It's all your idea.
It's my idea because I believe that education is freedom. Yeah, I believe that education saved my life, and I think that's how I'm going to save. That's my contribution. And, you know, obviously, you know, I have a foundation and we do lots of things. What I try to do is to use whatever I have to educate people. I can't believe you're this serious. I don't know what to say.
That's tremendous. Yeah. It's tremendous. Yeah. And God bless you for doing that.
Thank you for being so nice to me.
Absolutely.
Oprah personally selected the students for the school. Since the academy's opening, many troubling events have occurred, such as a child's body being found in a student's bag and several girls being suspended for misconduct. These incidents have raised serious concerns about the school's environment and Oprah's involvement.
In 2007, Oprah Winfrey opened up a boarding school in South Africa. The academy had salons and gyms in it. Allegations have surfaced that this school was a front for child trafficking. These girls would be allegedly groomed to be ready for sale. Oprah handpicked the young girls who attended her school based on physical appearance, but it wasn't long until word got out about what really the school was about. Turns out these young girls were being touched or broken in by one of the employees there to allegedly get them ready for clients. Authorities found out about it, and the employee was charged with 13 counts of getting inappropriate with kids. Turns out at least 6 girls aged 13 to 15 were allegedly systematically and ritualistically targeted. Oprah went on record saying she was going to look at the situation, but after her investigation, the employee was cleared of any wrongdoing, and some allege Oprah had a hand in trying to cover it up. But these incidents continue to rock the school, including a newborn baby being found unalived at the school, which some say was for trafficking.
Trevor Noah humorously exposes the harsh realities of Oprah's school, blending sharp wit with serious undertones. Through his jokes, he highlights the troubling incidents and underlying issues, cleverly using humor to shed light on the school's environment and Oprah's controversial involvement.
So Oprah flew down on her jet and she built the school. $50 million she spent. Most expensive school in Africa. Most expensive anything, in fact. $50 million. That's what she spent. It's got state-of-the-art computers, state-of-the-art facilities and cars and all this equipment. State-of-the-art everything. Well, not everything. Teachers, not so much. Shame. A lot of scandals going down at that school. It's because of Oprah. She didn't know how to interview these people. This wasn't Brad Pitt she was talking to, you know? And that's what happened. Those kids got beatings for no reason. There was always these cases. Teachers walking into the classroom, losing their minds. Mavis, did you do your homework? No, ma'am. Then you're going to get a beating. Yeah, a beating for you. But because it's Oprah's school, everybody's getting one!
Delving deeper into this matter, it has come to light that after graduation, girls have gone missing from the academy. No one knows their whereabouts, and nobody dares to speak about it.
Now, we cannot confirm if any of these girls from this school ended up going missing because I can't find anything about that, but that is a huge conspiracy theory that's been passed around for a couple years. But these 2 SA allegations and this baby being found in the little girl's book bag are 3 things that actually happened at Oprah's school. And a lot of people find this super creepy, knowing who Oprah surrounds herself with and the background that Oprah has always claimed about herself going through SA as a young girl. So there's a whole bunch of controversy around Oprah, but you guys let me know what you guys think of this 3-part series in the comments.
Oprah holds significant power, making it impossible for anyone to raise questions against her, leaving this issue unresolved to this day.
But I'm calling out Oprah, because what happened to them children at your school that went missing? Your all-girls school that you built in Africa? Why have all of the girls went missing that was at that school graduating class and nobody is talking about it? I tell you why. Because you guys are protected and I don't appreciate it. I want you guys to tap in, tune in, comment. If you guys know about it, talk about it, spread the word, share this. Those girls in Africa went missing. That was at Oprah's school, Oprah Winfrey. Where were these girls at? Has anybody found them? Why is there not enough coverage on this? But those 5 guys that went missing, RIP, definitely feel bad for them. That's a lot of coverage. Of course. Anyways, Peace out.
On her show, Oprah often mistreated her guests, displaying a preference for inviting controversial figures to boost ratings. This strategy of sensationalism drew criticism, as many believed it compromised the integrity of her program and exploited guests for entertainment value rather than fostering meaningful dialogue.
In 1986, newly discovered model, now household name, Cindy Crawford, made an appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show alongside the founder of Elite Model Management, Don Casablancas, the man who discovered Cindy Crawford. In an uncomfortable moment in this interview, Oprah asked 19-year-old Cindy Crawford to stand up to show off her body to the audience. Cindy agreed reluctantly, but was very obviously extremely uncomfortable.
So did you have to groom her? Did she always have this body? This is unbelievable. Stand up just a moment, because no one saw you come in standing up. Now this is what I call a body. Very good, very good.
In an interview that Cindy Crawford did years down the line, she expressed that this moment was very upsetting to her, and she felt that Oprah treated her like chattel.
I was like the chattel or a child, like be seen and not heard. When you look at it through today's eyes, when Oprah's like, stand up and show me your body, like show us why you're worthy of being here. In the moment, I didn't recognize it, only when I look back at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that was so not okay, really? Especially from Oprah.
This moment felt very exploitative and misogynistic to many viewers. In another odd moment on the Oprah Winfrey Show, NFL quarterback Drew Brees went on to the Oprah Winfrey Show, and while they were live on air, Oprah reached over and tried to wipe something off of his face. What Oprah thought was lipstick on Drew Brees' face, it was actually a birthmark.
Oprah frequently asked her guests personal questions, delving into topics such as their orientation and other sensitive matters. This approach often made her guests uncomfortable and led to criticism that she prioritized sensationalism over respectful and meaningful conversation.
I am so tired of Oprah, I really am. All these people in the world got a problem with you and you think you ain't the problem. Even Taraji. I mean, come on. Nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical, baby. I'm just saying, nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical. So me seeing Oprah get dragged, I'm like, ooh, hit her again. Ooh, hit her again. Hit her again. Especially how she did them people in Maui talking about, I'm gonna pray for you while you got all them acres of land. Get the land away, baby. Faith without works is dead. Prayer without works is dead. Give the land back, baby.
Finally, through the internet and the bravery of individuals like Iyanla Vanzant, people are becoming aware of Oprah and other elites like her. This increased awareness is shedding light on their controversial actions and behaviors, prompting a broader public scrutiny and a call for accountability.
Part 3. While we saw many episodes of The Oprah Winfrey Show lack a lot of common courtesy and were rich in exploitation, we also saw a lot of groundbreaking moments on The Oprah Winfrey Show. One very notable moment on The Oprah Winfrey Show was when Ellen DeGeneres, who was famous for her comedy at the time, came out as a gay woman on The Oprah Winfrey Show.
This is just who I am, and I know that this is what I feel more comfortable
So
with.
was it hard to tell your family?
No, it wasn't hard to tell my family at all. But my father was a little harder because he's very religious, and I thought he would have a hard time with it. But
studio owners and producers know this, and they bring that into the negotiation room. So a lot of dark-skinned actors and actresses do get paid less than light-skinned actors and actresses because of the knowledge that those movies will probably not perform well in now the biggest box office, which is China. So in this moment, Taraji is expressing a deep frustration that is not only pertaining to one movie, one negotiation, one role, but something she constantly has to deal with and her friends and family have to constantly deal with. Because like she said, every time she breaks that glass ceiling, at the next negotiation, right back down to zero, you have to start from scratch.
Dr. Phil is a daytime television tyrant. He has exploited countless individuals on his show, going as far as providing drug addicts with their substances of choice before filming. Dr. Phil has also forcibly taken teenagers from their homes and sent them to abusive camps, which he promotes and profits from.
I didn't do what I wanted at that time. I was too young to do what I wanted to do. But my mom was like, nigga, get the fuck your ass going home. Nigga, we go. But at the end of the day, we just had to be respectful. We could do whatever we wanted to do. We just had to be respectful, and that's with everything, you know. With the media training, with people that you don't know that run up on you, you know, with cars that you walk up to. because their kids in the car. You know, people shoot people with their kids in the car, and I'm talking about shooting celebrities. You know, hey, cause you, you know, like, you just gotta be careful and be respectful. You can do whatever you want. So when you sign to the mouse, man, and then once you sign to the mouse, it's a forever thing, you know.
Yeah, I said, do they like hit you up on it's anniversaries and?
Well, no, because I've been bad. So,
but they would hit you up if you want.
Oh yeah, well, that was I've been doing a lot good now, so you never know what might happen. But I wasn't in the right mind back then to even possibly be thought of to be on the show or be around Ray or be around myself even. Cause what you don't understand the magnitude of yourself, that means that, you know, you think you know yourself, but you don't.
His desperate,
malnourishing, humiliating, screaming at, sleep depriving.
Danielle Bregoli, known as Bad Barbie, gained notoriety after her Catch Me Outside remark on Dr. Phil's show. This viral moment was less about helping a troubled teen and more about creating a sensational TV moment.
And all these hoes laughing like something funny.
She's talking about the audience, that they're laughing at her.
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes?
Yep.
Huh?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said.
Bregoli later criticized Dr. Phil, exposing the exploitative nature of his approach.
So, Dr. Phil, I am going to give you from now till April 5th to issue an apology, not only to me, but to Hannah and any other child that you sent to Turnabout or any other program like this. And if you don't, I'm gonna handle things my way.
She claimed the show capitalized on her troubled behavior for ratings with little genuine concern for her well-being. Bregoli revealed she faced mistreatment at the Ranch Dr. Phil sent her to for rehabilitation, describing the experience as traumatic.
Somewhere in the middle of August, I went on the Dr. Phil show, and my mom and my grandma knew they were sending me here. I didn't know I was going. I went school shopping right before because the school was supposed to start when I got home from LA from doing the show. So part of the whole Dr. Phil show is they send these kids to either Turnabout or these other programs that are also in Utah, but they're all wilderness programs and they're all fucked up. Okay, so Turnabout is in the middle of Escalante, Utah. It's a very, 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 very small town. It's got one gas station, one grocery store. Everybody knows everybody there. You see you're in the middle of nowhere. You know there's nowhere to run. If you try to run out there, they're gonna find you, you're gonna get in more trouble, or if you do get away, you're gonna get eaten by a coyote or something. Because took in there against my will. They give you transporters. Transporters are two people, a male and a female, that come in the middle of the night. They don't tell them where they're going. They just take them, they handcuff them, they put them in the car. It's basically like kidnapping. We got there, I got out of the car, and I just seen it looked like nothing. It was just super dark. I seen like all the circles and stuff, and I seen the little cabin, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not built for this. Like, I'm this little bougie ass. So for the first 3 days you're there, there's no showering. They put you in a circle, which is it's a teepee. It's a little teepee, but it's open, and you have to sit there for 3 days. They wouldn't let me lay down for nothing. Like, I was falling asleep and they were like, get up. So I'm just sitting here like, this is gonna be really bad.
Despite these negative experiences, Bregoli managed to turn her viral fame into a successful career, often reflecting on her time with Dr. Phil as a controversial turning point.
Like, I'm not who people say I am. And everybody that's gotten around me is always like, oh, she actually cool as fuck. Like, it's never like, oh, I'm never coming around this bitch again, she crazy. Like, it's never that. Cause that's really like, and to make me stick to that same person, to hold that 13, 14, 15-year-old, even when I was 16, I was a little threw off, but to hold that profile on me throughout the rest of my teenage years and my adult years now is just like, even the shit when it comes to how I look. I was 13. Yeah. I'm not gonna look the same at 16 that I looked at 13. I'm not gonna look the same at 17. I'm not gonna look the same at 18. I'm not gonna look the same at 19. I'm damn sure not gonna look the same at 20.
Bregoli's revelations fueled public debate about Dr. Phil's ethics, leading to increased scrutiny of his show. Critics argue that his methods prioritize sensationalism over genuine help. If you're not familiar with Philip McGraw, known as Dr. Phil, he holds a doctorate in psychology but hasn't been a licensed psychologist since 2006. You may recognize him as Dr. Phil, a title he only adopted after Oprah Winfrey's intervention. In 1995, Oprah hired Dr. Phil's consulting firm when she was sued for defamation by Texas cattle ranchers. Oprah won the case and was so impressed with Dr. Phil that she began featuring him on her show as a relationship and life expert.
In 1998, I went through the infamous beef trial. It was infamous for me. That was down in Texas, and the man who got me through that time was not my attorney, who was Chip Babcock. You need an attorney, but it was Dr. Phil McGraw, because he was the strategist for the entire trial. So he was on my legal team, and I'd never heard of him until I got put in a room with him, and his no-nonsense style was just what I needed to keep me from really, at the time, falling apart, because I'm telling you, there is no greater stress than a trial, even when you know you're innocent. And after the trial was over, I invited Phil to come on the Oprah show to share a little of his kind of no-frills way of talking, straight from the hip advice, because he and I would drive in to the trial every morning together, and he'd be saying those Philisms that we now have come to know as Philisms, and things like, well, the rubber's getting ready to hit the road, gal, and they're gonna hand you your ass on a platter. So I said, why don't you come and share some of those bits of wisdom that you've been sharing with me in the car with our audience? And from his first appearance on the Oprah show, Phil was, I'd say he was quite well received.
By 2002, Oprah helped him launch his own show, which by 2008 was outperforming Oprah's own show. While some credit Oprah for Dr. Phil's success, others argue he owes it to the many vulnerable individuals he's exploited for ratings over the years. Actress Mia Farrow even tweeted that laws should protect mentally ill people from TV talk show predators like Dr. Phil, who exploited Shelley Duvall's fragile mental state for his gain.
I loved Robin Williams. I don't think he's dead.
Where do you think he is?
Shape-shifting.
It prompted stars like Mia Farrow to boycott today's episode, tweeting, "There should be laws to protect mentally ill people from TV talk show predators like Dr. Phil, who is exploiting Shelley Duvall for his own gain." Meanwhile, Mia's son Ronan also sent out a series of scathing tweets at Dr. Phil. And the daughter of The Shining director Stanley Kubrick also posted an open letter on Twitter, calling the interview lurid and exploitative entertainment.
Dr. Phil and his team specifically sought her out, knowing she was struggling with her mental health. Their intention was clear: to exploit her trauma for the sake of television drama.
Will you let me get you to the doctor so you can get checked out?
If you so much as attempt to get my moon mole, I'll kill you.
That's Shelley Duvall on today's episode of Dr. Phil. A far cry from the talented actress we saw star alongside Jack Nicholson in The Shining. In the interview, Shelley makes some discomforting claims about her deceased Popeye co-star, Robin Williams.
I don't think he's dead.
I want to have you checked out by some really good doctors.
I would like that.
For free. I'll pay for
If you
it.
promise me that they won't murder me.
I promise you.
Before her demise in July 11th, Shelley Duvall expressed remorse about her controversial 2016 interview with Dr. Phil. Duvall, who described herself as very sick during the interview, later revealed that she felt taken advantage of by Dr. Phil. She recalled how he relentlessly pursued her and her mother for further contact, even after she refused his proposed treatment. Despite the backlash, Dr. Phil defended the interview, stating that he did not regret his actions and had continued to offer support to Duvall off camera. However, Duvall remained critical of him until her passing. But that's not the only time Dr. Phil has twisted the truth. We all know Britney Spears had a rough time back in 2008, but not many people realized Dr. Phil was involved. He got in touch with her family and even talked to Britney herself. Things went south when he appeared on the CBS Early Show and talked about Britney's situation without the family's permission. He wasn't a spokesperson for them, so he had no business doing that. Dr. Phil's real goal was to create a special show about Britney, which would have been huge for ratings, but it blew up in his face when the Spears family called him out. Lou M. Taylor told the Today Show that Dr. Phil had crossed the line. The family had trusted him to be a private support, not to go public with their personal issues.
According to him, her family had asked him to intervene, but Britney was not on board, and after Dr. Phil issued public statements about her family turned against him too.
The bottom line here is that Dr. Phil no longer has a license to practice psychology because he elected to retire his license. So he has no duty, legal or ethically, to maintain confidentiality in any event.
Given all these allegations, it's painfully obvious that Dr. Phil should stay far away from anyone dealing with mental health or addiction issues. It's clear he's only in it for the ratings. What still baffles many is why Oprah endorsed him in the first place and why she hasn't called him out on his shady tactics after everything came to light.
So this is what so many people don't understand. A big part of the confusion and shame for child victims is that the attention and the seduction from the predator, who is probably going to be somebody you know.
Right.
In order for it to work, it has to be somebody you know, somebody you admire, somebody you respect, or maybe even love. And it feels good. I mean, if you're 7 years old and somebody, which I was trying to say this to my friends who had children, you're 7 years old and someone is stroking your, it feels good.
Right.
Even though you don't have a name for what that is, it feels good.
Mark Wahlberg has revealed how Oprah Winfrey mistreated young artists in the industry. Oprah Winfrey, a globally recognized media mogul and philanthropist, has had a significant impact on popular culture and social issues. Born into poverty, she overcame a traumatic childhood marked by ill treatment to become one of the most influential women in the world. However, there is a secret dark side to Oprah that has been hidden from the public for many years, but it is gradually coming to light.
What does it mean that it felt good? What does that mean about me?
That's one of the reasons it's so confusing for children.
Yeah.
And when I first said this years ago, people were like, "You crazy," because everybody wants to believe it's like sexual assault and you're being thrown up against the wall and you're being raped. And I have said for years, if the abuser is any good, you won't even know it's happened. You will be in it and you won't even know it's happened. And if the abuser is any good, he or she is going to make you feel like you're a part of it. I mean, and nothing is more being a part of it than what we discussed earlier.
Oprah Winfrey's comments on child misconduct, implying it is not always a crime because it can make children feel good, have sparked significant outrage and concern. Such statements are deeply disturbing as they undermine the severity of the mistreatment and the lasting trauma it causes victims.
Your faith means so much to you. Have you always talked about it?
It's a balance. I don't want to jam it down anybody's throat,
Yeah.
but I do not deny my faith. That's an even bigger sin. You know, it's not popular in my industry, but, you know, I cannot deny my faith. It's important for me to share that with people, but I have friends from all walks of life and all different types of faiths and religions. So, you know, it's important to respect and honor them as well.
Yeah. What does it mean to you, your faith?
Oh, it's everything. It really has. It's afforded me so many things. Obviously, you know, God didn't come to save the saints. He came to save the sinners. We've all had things and issues in our lives, and we want to be better versions of ourselves. And through focusing my faith, it's allowed me to do that.
Mark Wahlberg has spoken out about the darker aspects of the Hollywood industry, highlighting issues such as exploitation and corruption. His comments often reflect broader concerns about the ethical standards and treatment of individuals within the entertainment world. Oprah Winfrey has openly discussed her traumatic childhood, including running away and becoming pregnant at 14. These experiences have shaped her advocacy for cruelty survivors.
Morbid Facts, Part 381. When she was a child, Oprah Winfrey's family was so poor that she had to wear dresses made out of potato sacks to school. She was molested several times by her own family members and got pregnant by the age of 14 after running away from home. Oprah was apparently in so much shame at the time that she never even named her son, who was born prematurely and died shortly after birth. Squeezing a man's nuts very tightly can have roughly the same effect, but may also kill them in the process because squeezing someone's balls hard enough can raise their adrenaline to dangerous levels. This video shows the brainwaves of a man experiencing an epileptic seizure. Seizures can have many different causes that result in a burst of uncontrolled electrical activity in the brain. Many times the patient loses consciousness, but otherwise they may experience strong tingling, anxiety, or deja vu.
The bizarre podcast moment where Oprah asked Dennis Rodman if he was gay is often highlighted as an example of her making guests uncomfortable with inappropriate questions.
But bringing up old situations is one of those things where sometimes it makes sense because there's some old situations like murder, sexual misconduct, where, you know, you never really just get past it and move on. And then there are older situations which are just scandals that nobody really should care about like a couple of years later because they're stupid. In this case, people have brought up Oprah Winfrey in regards to mainly her behavior a lot of the times on TV, on her show in front of people. It's interesting because she ends up asking Rodman if he's gay like 70 times over and over and over. And it's very bizarre behavior from the outside. Now, granted, there could be some context here that is missing for me, but any question that you're pestering people with, unless we're talking about like criminal allegations, which you should pester people if there are criminal allegations, I don't really understand the point, especially with something like sexuality. It's also someone's choice, right? It's not really something that most people are just willy-nilly going to share. So once you ask them and they say no, or they don't want to answer, to continuously ask is just uncomfortable and weird.
A woman under Oprah's management was found guilty of mistreating children at her girls' school in Africa, raising serious concerns about Oprah's oversight and judgment.
The matron who was working at the Oprah Winfrey School, who was found not guilty on all the sexual assault charges that she was facing, because the magistrate was of the view that the state had failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt that she was indeed guilty. We have no intentions of appealing that judgment because we also believe that there are no reasonable prospects of success if we appeal. So the High Court would not have arrived at a different conclusion than the one that the magistrate arrived at. So justice, even if an accused person is acquitted.
Oprah's Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa has been plagued by scandals, including the discovery of a child's body in a student's bag and reports of harassment among students, which some see as indicative of deeper issues.
Something strange is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls.
Go look and see what happened to them girls.
So Oprah opened the school all the way back in 2007. And since the school's opening, it has been marred with many different controversies. You see, shortly after the school opened, a matron of the school was charged with touching several of the girls in a very inappropriate manner. When the crime eventually came to light, Oprah herself went to fire the school's head mistress. Then, in another incident that happened in 2011, law enforcement investigated the body of a newborn that was found in one of the students' bags. Apparently, one of the girls at the school gave birth, but there were no charges filed against her after this incident. There were also other scandals the school was involved in, like in 2009 when 7 students were suspended for harassing their classmates. And now there's a new scandal that the school is known for, as many people online have started spreading rumors that girls are disappearing from the school. According to these rumors, several students from the school have gone missing. But as of right now, nobody is sure why these rumors have started, as there is currently no news reporting that there have been missing girls at Oprah's school. Regardless, these rumors have managed to go viral all over TikTok and Twitter, and they continue to be spread to this day.
Despite allegations in Escaping Neverland, Oprah maintains her stance, which has led some to question her judgment and loyalty to controversial figures.
Do you ever waver in your beliefs when the documentary director came out and said there was a timeline issue? Michael Jackson didn't have the train station?
You know why I have not wavered? Because I've had girls at my school who were assaulted and abused, and I have never won a case. And the reason I have never won a case is because when you put a girl on the witness stand and she can't remember, was it Thursday or Wednesday, it's automatically discredited. And when you're in the midst of trauma, something terrible things happening to you, you may not remember the exact.
Increasingly, people are becoming aware of Oprah Winfrey's alleged criminal history and controversial actions. Online discussions and social media have highlighted various allegations, from inappropriate comments to associations with dubious figures. This growing awareness is causing some to reevaluate her public persona and question the authenticity of her image.
I'm so glad the internet is waking up about this long forehead velociraptor looking ass bitch. I am so tired of Oprah. I really am. All these people in the world got a problem with you and you think you ain't the problem. Even Taraji. I mean, come on. Nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical, baby. I'm just saying. Nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical. So me seeing Oprah get dragged, I'm like, ooh, hit her again. Ooh, hit her again. Hit her again. Especially how she did them people in Maui talking about, I'm going to pray for you while you got all them acres of land. Get the land away, baby. Faith without works is dead. Prayer without works is dead. So anyway, it's been nice seeing the internet drag Oprah. I know Monique is so happy that the internet is finally waking up about Oprah. Like, she gives me the worst vibes ever. And the first red flag was that billionaire shit. That was the first red flag for me. But then she kept having issues with people, and people kept talking about their issues with her. And I was just like, ooh, you a real nasty type of woman.
Oprah Winfrey's friendship with John of God, a Brazilian faith healer blamed for numerous crimes, has been scrutinized, with critics questioning her associations with alleged criminals. This relationship has sparked controversy, as many find it troubling that a prominent figure like Oprah would be linked to someone facing serious allegations. Critics argue that such associations call into question her judgment and the vetting process for individuals she promotes or supports.
A spiritual healer who believed he could channel the spirits of doctors and saints, and he would perform surgeries on people with his bare hands and scissors. Not to mention, John of God also literally essayed hundreds of different young girls and women, ranging from the ages of 9 to 67, and some of his victims included his own daughter and her daughter, his granddaughter, and he was also running a ring selling newborns to childless couples for $50,000.
The extent of Oprah's property holdings, including many on islands, has raised suspicions among some who find her wealth and acquisitions excessive and secretive.
I don't think people understand how much property Oprah actually owns on the island of Maui. You look up pictures of the house and this is what you see. You see her house, a mansion with her guest house is also a mansion. But this doesn't tell the full story. Zoomed out on Google Earth, she has this exact division of property, almost 1,000 acres that she owns solely. One person owns this much property on someone else's sacred land. Nobody needs that. Her property has its own private road that only a few people can use. So when you go and you look at pictures of Oprah's house on Maui and you only see stuff like this, just know that's not her property. She owns 1,000 times more than what you're seeing. She bought all that property somehow for $6.6 million. If you go and you estimate the value of all that acreage now in Maui, it's over $300 million. So basically, she could sell a third of that land back to the people of Maui at full market price, which is still evil, and use that $100 million to give it back to the people of Maui. No one person needs that much property of any island. It's ridiculous.
Rumors about Oprah Winfrey's alleged involvement with actress Taraji P. Henson has fueled speculation and gossip, leading to further scrutiny of her personal life. Such rumors, whether baseless or not, highlight the intense public fascination with Oprah's private affairs, often overshadowing her professional achievements.
Okay, a couple weeks ago, Taraji P. Henson came out and said some stuff about Oprah, how she wasn't basically looking out for the younger people, and she getting underpaid, and she been in the game 20 plus years. But basically, Oprah coming out to clear all that up. Even the TikTok video that came out, it said that Taraji P. Henson and Oprah Winfrey energy was off when they was on the roof standing by each other. And she basically said she stay looking out, so she don't know why Taraji said that, and she said something, I think, like they close. But y'all check this out and let me know what y'all think.
Responds to the nonsense.
So emotional talking about pay inequity, and you created a space now where we have a cast of black women.
And I would just like to say about this whole Taraji, you know, I heard I was trending yesterday because people are saying that I was not supporting Taraji. Taraji will tell you herself that I've been the greatest champion of this film, championing not only the behind the scenes production, but also everything that everybody needed. So whenever I heard that there was something that people needed, I'm not in charge of the budget because that's Warner Brothers. You know, that's the way the studio system works. And we as producers, everybody gets their salary. That's negotiated by your team. And so whenever I heard there was an issue or there was a problem with the cars or there was a problem with the food, I would step in and do whatever I could to make it right. And I believe that she would even vouch for that and say that it's true.
I think she would vouch for that. I can vouch for that because I've seen you and your work and behind the scenes, how you step in and you put your own money up.
I'm all for everybody being the greatest and rising to meet the rising of their own life. And so I mean, all this stuff about there was something online about us being separated at the top of the Empire State Building. On that particular day, we were so cold. So I don't know what kind of body language people were talking about. I was just trying to stay warm, and that was the fourth thing we had done. And so there's no validity to there being a thing between Taraji and I.
Oprah responds to the nonsense.
Oprah's treatment of Monique, including perceived taunting, has been criticized as unprofessional and indicative of a mean-spirited side.
I'm really not gonna lie to y'all, I don't like Miss Oprah Winfrey. There are so many reasons why I don't like Oprah, and all of them have to do with her just being simply an asshole, in my opinion. Now, one of her biggest strikes was with Monique. That's when I really felt like, okay, Oprah is just almost like a wicked witch. Monique explained several times when she did Precious, she didn't know if it was going to pick up or not, but she got $50K from it, and it was an independent film with her good friend Lee Daniels. Once the film started getting praise, Tyler Perry and Oprah decided, like, let me put my name attached to it and let's do a press conference. Oprah kept pushing, saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to send my private jet. She sent Tyler Perry her way, and literally all this woman said was, no, I'm tired. I want to nurture my family. I nurtured my career. You know, I hope it continues to do good, but I don't want to be on press tours and conferences, or at least the one that they asked for. Oprah honestly felt like, you know what, she tried it. So Oprah, I feel like, in my opinion, began to taunt her, because when Monique blew up, somehow her brother's story, when he touched her or did something really, egregious towards Monique.
Society should stop idolizing celebrities like Oprah, believing that her public persona hides a more sinister reality. It's essential to recognize that celebrities often present a carefully curated image on social media, emphasizing their glamorous lifestyles, achievements, and positive moments.
We need to go unveil the curtain and dive a little deeper. I don't care if it's an elite, I don't care if you're a billionaire, a trillionaire, if we ever get one of those, like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Matthew 19 verse 24 says, and again I say to you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. So just because you got money don't mean you're good. Not whatsoever. A lot of these people are very evil. And I'm not going to say right away Oprah is guilty. That's not my job to do. God is the ultimate judge. But from afar, it looks a little suspicious to me. It smells a little fishy. And, I've always wondered why Oprah would go all the way over to Africa to build schools instead of first taking care of home and help fix inner city schools like places, Chicago, Detroit, Memphis, and so on. Now it all makes sense. It really starts to add up when you take a step back and say, hey, what's really going on? And why are these people doing these things instead of getting involved in these actions over here in the United States first? But then when some race issue comes out, they want to, racism is the issue and Me Too, and they want to, go with all these virtuous, fake facade issues going on, but behind closed doors, it's really some smoke and mirrors to try to deter your attention away from what possibly could actually be going on.
Ice Cube has claimed that Oprah Winfrey banned him from her show, a move that some critics interpret as an attempt to avoid controversial or dissenting voices. Critics argue that this action contradicts Oprah's image as a champion of open dialogue and diverse perspectives. By excluding figures like Ice Cube, who offer different or provocative viewpoints, they contend she may be stifling important conversations.
What platforms have banned you?
I've been I tried to go on The View. They didn't have me on The View.
Why?
Well, a few of the guests just really didn't like where I was coming from. So, or a few of the hosts, I mean. So that's what I was told by the producers. I don't know if the producers was just copping out and using some of the hosts to not have me come on and explain myself, but I've been excluded. I've been excluded on Oprah.
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah, I've been excluded. Yeah, man.
Moreover, Oprah Winfrey, despite her renowned interviewing skills, has faced criticism for occasionally making her guests uncomfortable with intrusive or bizarre questions. Critics argue that her tactics sometimes cross the line, prying too deeply into personal matters or steering the conversation into awkward territories. Instances where she pressured guests to divulge sensitive information or asked leading, provocative questions have sparked controversy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like most of us know that people who are famous, most of them have a lot of money. It just goes without saying. Like, I definitely am not somebody who sits there and obsesses over it. It just is what it is. You know, they worked really hard as child actors. It goes without saying they had a lot of money, and so this whole interview, she just kept talking about that. And she even got their dad involved in the audience trying to figure out how much money they were making. And I'm like, why is this your business? The tabloids back then were the most toxic thing. You know, Oprah has always just come off as like this sweet, understanding woman, and you have these two kids sitting on your couch. They were 17 at the time, and if they are struggling with an eating disorder in this moment, the last thing you should ever ask them should be, what size are you? And you can see Ashley when she asked this. I understand that there was a lack of education on eating disorders and things like that, but I feel like if you're going to be a talk show host and you're going to have people on there who may or may not be struggling with it, even if they're not, you don't ask a teenage girl, like, what size pants do you wear? They are trying not to answer the question, and Oprah gets sassy with them about how, like, she really cares about her size, and of course you guys don't know. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, these are 17-year-old girls that are being blasted all over magazines about their bodies, and then you are just feeding into that. It was so gross.
Joe Rogan's comments on his show about Oprah's alleged actions have contributed to a growing skepticism of her authenticity. There's this whole new rumor mill spinning, and now it's all about Diddy and Oprah. Apparently, things got stirred up when 50 Cent popped into the chat. Now Oprah's getting dragged into some hot water because she's being linked with Diddy. You know, when Diddy's name comes up, trouble's not far behind.
I'm gonna tell you why.
You named your dog Oprah, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Look.
I remember that.
No, look, every time she made a mention to hip-hop culture, it was something that was wrong with it. And it was something that was on my CD that was the largest debut in hip-hop album. You're looking at it and you're saying that everything that's wrong with our culture is why I'm a success.
50 Cent, known for his ongoing beef with Diddy, has been one of the voices claiming that Diddy is gay.
Man, it's been one of them motherfucking nights. I should have took some pictures before. Nice job. It's the end of the night and it was motherfucker. So we coming to you live. Diddy late nights. Anything can happen. I'm just vibing. It's so wide.
You gotta keep the hair.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna wear this here in Toronto.
Ain't nobody. Hey, yo, let me ask you a question.
When I get to
the motherfucker floating like a motherfucking cloud. Like you had clouds on your motherfucking shoes. You know what I'm saying? And that motherfucker moving around.
Hey, yo, you said Febreze, nigga?
You was floating like a motherfucking Febreze, my nigga. You was moving like, nigga, with a scent. You had
Nigga, it's just late night. Nigga, I got my wig on.
Breezing.
Listen, I was like, this ain't no goddamn wig. This is my motherfucking natural. I don't need to be ashamed of what the fuck.
That's a motherfucking natural.
It's a motherfucking natural. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing it to Toronto and Atlanta.
This assertion has been part of their contentious history, and 50 Cent has not hesitated to refer to Diddy as gay. You might be wondering why Diddy is wearing a wig and why he seems so comfortable in it. 50 Cent has made everything to be known. He also seized the opportunity to make fun of Puffy for it on his Instagram page. He posted the video and wrote, "What the F, man?" But this is not the first time 50 Cent has bashed Diddy.
Certain shit is just not for me, man. You know, it's just not for me. I don't go to motherfucking Puffy parties. Fuck that. Yeah. The niggas hug you from the front and the back. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying it's just not for me. That's all. To each his own. You into that shit, It's just not for me, man.
At this point, people have known how Diddy has been with men, but the problem with this picture was that it was taken at an awkward angle, which gave the impression that the two people in it were making out. Additionally, he uploaded a picture of Diddy wearing a pink shirt while hugging a former record executive who was also wearing pink and captioned, "I ain't saying nothing, but something ain't right, Al Mao." Well, this is not the first time 50 Cent trolled Diddy for his actions. 50 Cent shared a photo on his Instagram account that showed him and a former record exec embracing each other in pink shirts and looking directly into the camera. In the caption, he made some disparaging comments. He said, "Oh shit, that's your mommy over there with Puffy. LOL. Remember what I told you the other day? These bitches be crazy." 50 Cent has a history of trolling Diddy for his actions. Recently, 50 Cent talked about Diddy's recent lawsuit. He criticized Diddy on social media, sharing a screenshot of Diddy's sons being escorted out of his Los Angeles home in handcuffs.
The feds just raided Diddy's home in Miami, and these are his sons in handcuffs right now. But let's watch the footage together, shall we?
Breaking news right now, we're following the Department of Homeland Security conducting a raid at a house in Holmby Hills, believed to be connected to Sean Combs, the rapper and music executive, perhaps being linked to a sex trafficking investigation.
He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home.
I just want to say quickly, this is going to be a RICO case, and it's not just Diddy that's going to be going down, but let's continue.
Those people have been detained. Now, we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up this street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement. And on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment. And the home in particular is registered not only to Bad Boy Films, but to one of P. Diddy's daughters.
We did see a bunch of investigators going in, making the raid in there, and clearing that as well. So they're going to do a thorough search as they conduct this raid. And so far, Stu, from what I understand and from Haley on the ground there, they have not seen, and we have not seen from our vantage point, any sign of Sean Combs, the 54-year-old who is believed to be the property owner of this. And they are gathering information, talking to the folks who are there on the property, as well as going through the home. It wasn't as heightened as we saw just 10 minutes ago when they actually got onto the property.
Well, definitely a little bit more relaxed as far as the investigators that you see right there. And now we're getting more of a count. You can see that there's 4, maybe 5 people down there, 6 total, that they have removed from the home. A couple of them still in cuffs.
We don't know what exactly they're looking for, who they're looking for, but again, this could possibly be linked to a sex trafficking investigation involving rapper Sean Combs, the music executive.
So, what does all this have to do with Oprah? Let me break it down for you. Over the years, whispers have circulated about Oprah, allegedly having a negative impact on young actresses through manipulation. Cindy Crawford recently opened up about her first encounter with Oprah, expressing her dissatisfaction.
You always have this body. Stand up just a moment. Now this is what I call a body.
I was like the chattel or a child, like be seen and not heard. When you look at it through today's eyes, when Oprah's like, stand up and show me your body, like show us why you're worthy of being here. In the moment, I didn't recognize it. Only when I look back at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that was so not okay, really, especially from Oprah.
In the pilot episode of The Supermodels, Cindy Crawford reflected on her first appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show. She felt judged solely based on her looks and expressed that she wasn't seen as a person who had a voice. Even Oprah's close friend, Gayle King, commented on the situation. King expressed surprise and slight disappointment, noting that Crawford had always had pleasant experiences on Oprah's show.
I haven't seen it and I want to see it, but I'm surprised and a little disappointed because I know Cindy's been on her show many times, and it has always been a pleasant experience. I would hate to think that something that happened years ago, and number one, I don't know quite what it is. I have to see it.
But basically, she was with John Casablancas in the interview in 1986, and at one point Oprah tells her to, get up.
Did she always have this body?
Stand up just a moment. Now this is what I call a bod.
Sure, it would be, hey, you look so great. I can't imagine Oprah would want anybody, Cindy or anybody, to say, here, stand up, let us take a look at you. Yeah. It's not Oprah's thing to humiliate or make anybody feel badly. But as far as I know, everything is good between Oprah and Cindy.
And Oprah hasn't brought it up to you?
Not that way, no.
Gotcha.
No.
Not all. Oprah allegedly went behind Monique's back and invited her abusive family to her show.
See, this is why me and Oprah Winfrey got a problem. Till that woman says, let me apologize to you publicly, it'll be to the day I leave this earth. Because what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly. Say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are. It was all said and done, Oprah Winfrey calls me. And in that moment, I was still stuck in, this is Oprah Winfrey. How do I say, you had my mother, my father, my other brother, and I'm stuck in that moment. And when we hung up that phone, my husband looked at me and said, what's wrong with you? That's not what we made of. You know how you felt about that and how you feel about that. And you need to let that woman know, I don't care about a title and a position, that's not what you cut from. So it was my obligation to let Oprah Winfrey know how I really and how you feel about that.
Monique's revelations have stirred up quite a storm, with people thinking that Oprah might not treat everyone well, especially those lower down the ladder in the movie biz. Even with all the explanations and interviews, it seems like people on social media still feel that something's not quite right with Oprah's behavior towards other black women in the industry. These celebrities are not alone in their concerns about Oprah Winfrey. Over the years, various other celebrities and insiders have raised similar questions about her influence and the power she holds in Hollywood. While Oprah's contributions to media and culture are undeniable, these warnings suggest that there is much more to her story than meets the eye.
I'm not in charge of the budget because that's Warner Brothers. You know, that's the way the studio system works. And we as producers, everybody gets their salary. That's negotiated by your team. And so whenever I heard there was an issue or there was a problem with the cars or there was a problem with the food, I would step in and do whatever I could to make it right. And I believe that she would even vouch for that and say that it's true.
I think she would vouch for that. I can vouch for that because I've seen you and your work and behind the scenes.
The growing chorus of voices cautioning against Oprah serves as a reminder that power, especially in the entertainment industry, can be a double-edged sword. As these celebrities continue to speak out, the public may begin to reevaluate the legacy of one of the most iconic figures in modern media. Whether these warnings will lead to a broader reassessment of Oprah's role in Hollywood remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the conversation has only just begun. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.